Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this amazing show that we're going to have today, right now, about the public speaking. Hello, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this amazing show that I'm conducting right now, and I'm going to talk about public speaking, and I believe that this is going to be a very interesting and amazing experience that you're going to have.
We still learn English? And I'm like, yeah.
Shu o'qituvchi ekanida, ana tur desa turadi, o'tir desa o'tiradi. Salom beradi, not turib olsa hammasi kelib, ustoz nima kerak, zo'r, menga yoqadi.
But the skill is the thing you can do.
Speakingda rosa gapirib ketayotganda bitta vocabni qo'yib qo'yayotgan. Xo'p, ketmoqmiz yoki tushib qolib yana ketdi, mana shunaqa bo'ladi. Studentlarga men tushunmayman. Nimaga brainstorm qilmaysan yozishdan oldin? Idea bank nima? Bank nima? Bank nima? Bank. Ipoteka bank. Ipak yo'li bank. Bank, to'g'rimi?
Good afternoon, everyone. That's our, again, greatest pleasure to see you guys coming here in search of knowledge. And today is a very different day, I can say, in the history of today's masterclass, because we have never had such a high number of speakers on the stage till this day. There were only one or max two, but today we're going to have three of them who are going to focus on specific sections of the IELTS exam and deliver the best of their knowledge in that area to you guys. And one of the speakers in their team actually was my own teacher back in the study center of Niners, and he's also the one who granted me with a free certificate to take the IELTS exam back in 2019, for which I'm very grateful for him. And I can say that as he helped me a lot in my own journey of taking the test, he is going to help you as well today. So let me have Azizbek Iminov, a teacher with 9 years of teaching experience, with his team on the stage with your applause.
One. Assalamu alaikum. All right, so energy level is not going to be a problem. Anyways, we're here. I hope that you all can directly understand what I'm talking about, and I see some of the students from my own group as well watching, right? Is there anyone from our group? Do we have someone? Yeah, all right, good. Good to see you all. Look, we have divided our sections into three. First one, speaking, then listening, reading, and then the last one is going to be writing, and I'll be conducting this writing section. I'll try to speak in both languages, Uzbek and English. If any problems popped up, you can just raise your hands and I'll be explaining everything in a way that is more comprehensible to you all. Look, the number of students here, the audience are not so many, so which means it's very cool. So you may have any individual questions and all of you may not be left unattended, right? So in that case, I'm going to invite my teammate, the speaking instructor, Mr. Abdulmalik, and he's going to start with speaking. And it's going to be cool, so make sure that you participate. We try to make it interactive as much as possible so that it's going to be more useful and you get the best of what you can today. So, Mr. Abdulmalik, can you come here? Yeah, please support us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abdul Malik, but before I start, I have a 2-minute talk to you. First, we all understand each other, right? I mean, not mutually only, we understand our language, right? Everybody understands English, right here. All right, I want to take your attention for a minute. I want you to look at this plain paper. Can you see this paper? Can you see this paper? Can you see this paper? Yes, you can. Okay, you can see this paper. Now, I have a question. If you know English language, I'd like you to tell me some bad words. You know bad words in English? All right, tell me bad words. Call me, with whatever cursing word you know. Tell me bad words. Idiot. Okay, I am an idiot. Okay. Crazy. What? Stupid. Okay. Ugly. Okay. What else? What? Crap. What? Lazy. Bastard. Okay. Coming. No, not too much. Okay. Last bad word, tell me. Okay, I got it. Now, there's one thing going on in this place. Every time you tell me a bad word, I scrumble the paper on my hand. And let me explain to you this situation. I don't care about what the bad words you told me are, but I care about the people who are bullied. And that's what's going on here. Pay attention. When you look at this paper, every time you told a bad word, what happened was this was scrumbled. This white, clean, plain sheet of paper was scrumbled every time you told me a bad word. You understand? And now I want you to look at it. Is it the same? Is it the same paper as the beginning? Is it as smooth as the beginning? Is it as clean as the beginning? Now, if I do an ironing on that, you know what's ironing, right? If I do an ironing on that, do you think it'll be the same in the beginning, like the beginning? No, you know this fact. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a lesson about bullying. You know what's bullying? What is bullying? Telling bad words, cursing somebody. And now, imagine you bullied me, and now when you bullied me, I got that to my soul, I got it in my heart. Like the bad words that you threw towards me, they affected me. And when they affected me, even though you say sorry, it's not going to get back to its initial state. So in this current lesson, I want to tell you that when one person tells a bad word to another person, it doesn't matter what kind of person is that. The soul is affected. And you cannot make that soul the same again, even though you ask a sorry, even though you apologize to that person. That's what I wanted to show you. Well, this is a little bit, closed circle talk, but what I want to tell you about today is about the art of public speaking. I want to first talk a little bit about public speaking, right? You guys know what's public speaking, right? Talking to the public. That's basically what I'm doing right now, right? Now, I want you to listen carefully to this part. There are three things in public speaking. Three of the most important tips in public speaking. Number one, your tone of voice. The tone of voice that you have is really important when you are performing in front of the audience. And I understand that naturally, for example, females do not have as attractive or let's say as loud voice as the men, right, when it's compared. But there's an exercise, for example, if you want to make your tone a little bit better. An exercise could be you are in a long hall, and this is too much, like this is too big. But you can have just a hall, corridor. You know corridor? Long corridor. What you're going to do is that I practice it myself, and this is how I made my voice very loud. You understand? And that's how you can do it. Pay attention. You got a corridor? What do you do? I don't need a microphone, so look. Short words, you threw the short words, but with loud voice. That's how you improve your voice. For example, hey, I can look at you. You understand? That's what you can do. Basically, throwing these short words, but with the loudest pitch of tone in the beginning, can help you improve your voice. If you practice this exercise every single morning for the next 2 weeks, I'm sure after 2 weeks, your voice will be much louder than now or before. And that's a use it practice exercise. And if you don't trust me, you can try it at home. And that is one good way, okay? So tone of voice, ladies and gentlemen, is really important. The number two thing. What do you think is the number two thing to have a very good public speaking performance in front of the audience? What do you think is the number two thing? You guys should know. Confidence? Well, this is all about confidence in general, but the tips how to improve it. What is that? The second thing. Okay, hit the nail on the head. All right, so the number 2 thing is your body language. You know what's body language, right? Your posture and your gesture. Gesture is really important. When you are working with hands, this is when you can attract the audience. Now, I will show you 2 performances, 2 small pieces of performances, and then you're gonna say me which one is better, okay? Got it? So number 1, look. Hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this amazing show that I'm conducting right now, and I'm going to talk about public speaking, and I believe that this is going to be very interesting and amazing experience that you're going to have, and I'm sure that you guys are going to enjoy this public speaking tips that I'm going to give you right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this amazing show that we're going to have today, right now, about the public speaking. The art of public speaking that you're going to have is going to be so cool that you're never going to experience this one, because it's really important to be able to work with your gesture and posture in front of the audience, showing your dominant confidence in front of the audience. And of course, tone of voice is really important, but except that, one more thing is your posture and gesture. As you can see, that this is going to be really splendid, because when you walk around the audience a little bit like that and look at them eye into everyone, you're going to see how people are changing their pitch and interest towards the person that is on the stage making the performance, trying to do something. Which one was better? Yeah, second one was better. Why second one was better? I told you, body language. Body language. If you paid attention, in the first example, what happened was that I was closed. My body was closed. That indicates the inconfidence. Do you understand? My body was closed, and what I was doing is that I was moving backwards, right? Moving backwards. And this shows that I'm a little bit afraid of you as an audience. But in the second one, I came with my arms open as wide as the Boeing 787 and stepping down the stairs, looking at every single person, walking around a little bit, looking at every single person on the corner also, right? So the second one is definitely effective. Yes, it takes a little bit of practice to do this. However, if you are free with the audience, if you are opening your arms and moving forward when you start, loud voice, open body gesture, and confidence, voila. That is a good speaking. Public speaking, I believe, right? So you agree with me. All right, and finally, number 3 thing. What is that number 3 thing? I mentioned it when I was moving up the stairs. Really good. Who told it? Who told? Great job. Nice. It was eye contact. Guys, have you ever paid attention? Let's say if you study English, or if you study somewhere in the class, extra class, or your school, your university, when the teacher asks you to come out the whiteboard and speak about something, most of the people, what they do is, even when I'm looking at your eyes right now, what many people do is avoid their eye contact. That's how I speak. Okay, Abdul Malik, speak about public speaking. Okay. I think this is going to be a number of tips out there about public speaking. So first, this is the tone of voice, and that happens with many people, right? That happens with many people, many students. But you have to have enough courage and practice to stare at people's eyes. When I mean staring, I mean not only one person. You're looking at one person, only one person. That's not going to happen. That's going to affect you. What you do is you got to keep eye contact with 6 points in the audience. Let's say that's my target audience, right? I can see who are here sitting. I have 6 points. Pay attention. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? If this was the whole one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah? Looking at, like, I can take, when there are more people in the audience, I can take a bunch of people as one eye contact. Do you understand? For example, when I'm looking at here, I'm looking at like around 15 people around here. Understand? Eye contact has its own secrets, do's and don'ts. And it takes a lot of time to practice eye contact. However, once you do it, trust me, you are the most confident speaker in the room. And that can happen with practice. So, number 3, as I told, is eye contact. Overall, I have to say that there are 3 of the most important tips about the public speaking. Number 1, what was that? Tone of voice. Yeah. Okay, number 2, what was that? Body language, posture and gesture, right? And number 3, eye contact. Great, splendid. And I want to try these things yourselves at home, and once you try, you can grow as a very good public speaker. And it's really important. Why public speaking is important? Public speaking boosts your confidence. Public speaking make sure that public speaking ensures your boost in your confidence. And when you have a good confidence, this kind of exams like IELTS, it's going to be like piece of cake, like speaking test. So we're going to move on to that IELTS stuff, okay? Got it? So how can I switch my slides in this presentation? Do we have something like controller? Okay, now we're going to talk about IELTS speaking. As you can see today, we're going to look at, like that's the second half of my speech, okay? Today we're going to focus on IELTS speaking. I have a question. Who has taken IELTS in this hall? Raise your hand if you have taken IELTS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, around 10. Okay. Who's got 9 band score? Okay, who's got 6 band score? Okay, so you turn it upside down, it's gonna be 9. Okay, who's got 7? Oh, who's got 8? All right, great, nice to see you. So we got this plan about the IELTS speaking. Who is preparing for the IELTS test right now? Okay. We got like IELTS, one IELTS group is here. All right, so we're going to talk about IELTS speaking, part 1, part 2, and 3, and assessment criteria, and how to speak more, structuring your speech, and the power of vocabulary. And the next slide, please. Okay. Another one? Okay, good. So, part 1, part 2, and part 3. Pay attention. Now, I believe that most of you have already information about the IELTS speaking part 1 and part 2 and part 3, but I want to give a little bit different information about this one. So part 1 lasts 4 to 5 minutes, and you will get up to 4 questions about the country, about you and the country you're from on 3 different topics. Part 2, you have a card with the topic. You will have 1 minute to prepare an answer of up to 2 minutes, and there are also 1 or 2 follow-up questions. You know what's follow-up questions? What is follow-up questions? Yeah. Additional questions usually asked after you complete your part 2 answer, right? Usually it's given in order to just take time or in order to see whether can you speak more about the topic that you already spoke about. Part 3 lasts 4 to 5 minutes and has general questions related to the part 2 topic, and the examiner can turn this part of the test into a discussion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why do I have a pie chart like that indicating that part 1 accounts for only a quarter of the test. Part 2 shows that it's 30%. Part 3, 45%. Why? Well, because this is something that is not told, but this is something that is 99% correct assumption. This is not a rule, but I have to tell you. Many people, when they go to the IELTS speaking test, if you have already done that, what they do is that, they psych up themselves. Psych up? What is psych up themselves? They like prepare their heart confidently, their surroundings, friends, teachers. Great, you can do it, crack, break a leg, you're a rock, whatever. And then you go in and then you come to the IELTS speaking test and then you start. All right, so pop the question. Okay, and the question starts and then you answer. Part 1, you're a little bit confident. Part 2, you get the card and then that's it. Whoop. Like you're like, oh, damn it. Okay. So I want to talk about, that's it. You come as a wolf. You go out as a sheep or rabbit, whatever. It's your option. So as you can see, that's wrong, and that's psychological preparation for the interview, not just because it's IELTS English test, but in general, because it's interview, you have to make sure that your performance and your confidence throughout the test should increase over the test, during the test. Part one is like, you know, when you heat the car at first for 10 minutes and then you drive it, right? So part one, you're starting an answer. And in part two, you make sure that you make it better than part one, more confidence. However, relax it. Confidence doesn't mean like, like it's not like, you know, confidence doesn't mean like being tense and speaking fast and stuff like that. Confidence means, dude, relax. You gotta relax your seating position. Relax and start speaking, but not too slow, okay, like a snail. So part two, after you finish your part two, make sure that your part three is going to be your best of the performance throughout the test. Part three, sound more confident, speak more, because that's the last impression that you're gonna leave on the examiner. Do you understand? And this is gonna affect your score. And if you look at that part, I said the examiner can turn this part of the test into a discussion, which means examiner can just throw away his paper and start asking questions relying on your own answer. What you do there is you have to make sure that you get adapted to that discussion. Even that's okay to give question to the examiner. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay. So that's how you go on. You understand? Part three, sound more confident. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest tips I give my students is that make sure your confidence level and tone of voice and overall your the length of your answers must be better throughout each part than the previous ones, okay? Good, thank you. Okay, so 6+, and I don't know who's doing this, but genius, good. Okay, assessment criteria, pay attention. Assessment criteria is about 4 things: grammar, range, and accuracy, lexical resource, fluency and coherence, and pronunciation. You know this, but I want to tell you about one thing. Grammar, range, and accuracy, it's about the grammar. Many people think that if I use conditional sentences, if I use cleft sentences, if I use inversion, I'm going to perform very well. I'm going to get good score from grammar. No, it's about the complexity level of your sentence. For example, let's say, tell me about your mother, for example. Well, my mom didn't have the educational background that so many people think is necessary for you to do so many things with your life. For example, like longer sentence with extra clauses. And this depends on grammar. Maybe most of you are not understanding my ideas about the grammar, but you can understand later. Lexical resource is about the words. And I have a special unit at the end of this presentation to show you about the vocabulary. Vocabulary is not like learning a lot of words and then trying to speak every one of them. It's a different thing, and I'll show you at the end. And then fluency and coherence. I'm going to show you again 2 examples. That's my favorite method. I'm going to show you 2 examples, Sasha and Pasha, okay? First, Sasha is going to speak, then Pasha is going to speak. So the topic is, part 2 topic, describe something that you bought recently, okay? Do you understand topic? Describe something that you bought recently. And my first example, Sasha. Seating position as the examination. So I start. So I have to talk about something I buy. So yesterday, my friend, me, go to Malika. We buy iPhone 14. It's very good phone. I got I buy phone. I buy Samsung. My friend iPhone. We go shops. One shop go, no like. One shop go, don't like. Another shop go, don't like. So finish, we go home, like no. We go to the shop, we get phone, it's expensive, too much, but still, then I got it, and then I go home, and then my friends and parents see, say, it's good, yeah, so that's it, thank you. Do you understand? That's Sasha's example. Now let's talk about Pasha's example. Well, I think if I have to talk about the thing that I recently bought, I would definitely have to go back to a couple of weeks ago when I, with my friend, went to a tech shop called Malika that is very popular in our city to purchase a new gadget. And first of all, I have to say that I did not really need I mean, I did not really need a new gadget, but what I wanted was that something new was released the day before I went to the shop. So I went to the shop with my friend. We looked around and we compared the prices of different shops. And then what we did was that once we reached another shop, the last shop, we saw a real brand new iPhone 14 Pro Max that costs a fortune. However, this was the product that I craved for. So what happened was that me and my friends had a bargain a little bit. We negotiated over the price, and then finally we managed to pick up the product. And after buying that product, we went home. Finally, I showed it to my friends and family members, and they were amazed in awe, and they also liked it. It was cutting edge, the latest technology ever released by a giant company called Apple. So that is the latest purchase that I made, and that is what I wanted to tell you about. That's it. Which one was better, Pasha or Sasha? Pasha was better. Because number one thing is, ladies and gentlemen, this is number one thing. Fluency and coherence. Let me explain. Fluency is how well you speak. You don't pay attention to Sasha's grammar. I just made it up. And accent also. That's okay to have a Russian accent, so don't worry about that. But the fluency of that guy, the second guy, was much better. It was better than the roads of Tashkent. When it comes to coherence, when we mean coherence, we're about to talk about how to link one point of idea to the another one with the linking words that are not noticeable. After that, did you hear when I said after that, subsequently, and finally, first of all, before doing something? These words help me connect like a chain my ideas, and that's coherence. And pronunciation. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what's pronunciation, right? Pronunciation is being able to pronounce the words correctly. But I have a question. If I have an accent, either Russian accent or Indian accent, I have a question. Does that affect my score? I have to talk about different things. Like, does that affect my Indian accent? No. Have you ever seen on YouTube Niners who got like Indian Niners? Like, Indians can get 9 easily. It means accent, tfu on that. No worries about accent. Be fine. Your Uzbek accent is also fine, but make sure that you pronounce the words very correctly. And that is really important, okay? Great. So, next thing. Please, before that, extend on your answers. Look, which room do you like the most? My bedroom. What the hell, dude? No. Which room do you like the best? I would have to say my bedroom. I know it sounds funny, but that is where my bed is, and I really do cherish the quiet time at the end of the evening when I'm lying in my bed and reading my favorite novel. Besides, my room is like a safe heaven where I can get away from it all. That's it. Part 1 answer, good enough. So, strategies. You need strategies. For example, in the next slide, you can see one strategy to improve your answer. So, the next slide, please. Okay. It's about dividing your answer into 2 or 3 parts. If you are given the question, remember, you have to do 2 things, not 1 thing. Many people think, what should you do? When I give you a question, when examiner gives you a question, what should you do? I'm an examiner. I give you a question. What do you do? Answer. Good, that's it, right? That's wrong. That's right, partially. I give the question, you answer. After that, one more thing. Explain your answer. Remember this. Whenever you are practicing speaking, after just answering the question, explain your answer. And that's the easiest key to make your speech a little bit longer. Good. For example, this strategy shows divide into 2 or 3. For example, the question is, what kind of food do you like? And my answer is, well, there are 3 kinds of food that I'm really keen on. The one I like best is Italian food because I'm a big fan of pasta. I also really like to eat Korean food as it's very healthy and flavorsome. I'm also kind of partial to Mexican food because it is so hot and spicy. You see, I talked about 3 things here. First, Italian, Korean, and Mexican. That's okay. Divide your answer to 2 or 3 parts, which helps you to speak longer. Next slide, please. Another slide also. So part 2. If you remember when I showed my example, Pasha's example about part 2, going to Malika Tech Shop, here I have this formula. That's a simple formula to follow This is for beginners. When you don't know how to speak for 2 minutes. 10 seconds, generalization, brief general information about your topic. Then switching, moving swiftly onto your answer to the topic. Then prompts. You know what's prompts? Small questions that are given under the part 2 question. Where did you go? Who you were with? What did you do there? And explain why you liked there, for example. Prompts. Speak about the details by relying on prompts, mini questions. If you speak for 20 seconds for each prompt, you're on topic, you spoke at length, your fluency was good, that's it, you get a good score. That's how easy it is. Prompt. Rely on prompts. It's not compulsory. It's not obligatory. It's just, follow through. And finally, closing. Paraphrasing your answer in order to finish it properly. When you're writing essay, in conclusion, you have to summarize, right? You can take a picture. In conclusion, you have to summarize, right? The same thing in speaking part 2. Make sure in the last 10 seconds, paraphrase your answer and say. If you remember when I made the Pasha's answer, I said, so that is the thing that I made a purchase of at the end. That helps. That helps. That's showing that you finish it. That's showing that your clear answer is over there. An examiner loves it. And next one, please. Next slide. Power of vocabulary. Find, learn, and use it. But I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to say one thing. If you want to learn vocabulary effectively, do not focus on the number of the words that you're going to have. Focus on the relation to the topic. Find 10 or 15 common topics. What are common topics in the IELTS speaking test? Common topics. Common topics in IELTS speaking test. Environment. Family. What did you say? Education. Work. Food. Health. Environment. Crime. Law. Politics. Stuff like that. So find these common 10 or 15 topics and just learn 10 or 15 pieces of collocations and just use them. That's enough. That helps you grow your speaking. Just 10 or 15 for each topic. Overall, 100 or 150 words if you want to get it fast. But if you have time, just learn vocabulary fully. And the next slide, please. Pay attention. What happens is that's what happens when a lot of students try to use difficult words. Like, look, let me explain this meme. Student is thinking, which vocabulary can I use right now? Examiner, what the hell you want to talk about? So the student says, plethora of. Like, doesn't know, maybe just knows, but plethora of. Okay, and then examiner, oh, you crap. Okay, and then you get your exam speaking scores like 5.5. What? Emotional damage. Okay, good. So that's what happens, right? So stop using scientific or outdated words in your speaking test. This is not going to help you. Use natural words, please. Remember one thing. C1, C2 words. You have C1, C2 words. And you have B1, B2 collocations. For example, do you know the word deploy? What does it mean, deploy? No. Deploy is a little bit different. Deploy, it means to use, for example. To use. I mean, it can be understood as use, but it's a high-level C2 word. And there's another version. Make use of. Make use of and deploy. Make use of versus deploy. Which one is better? For many people, make use of is better. Keep it simple, keep it natural, okay? You're not scientist, or you're not like methodologist or someone. Well, Niners can use it. Only use a few less common vocabulary, and that's it. And the last slide, please. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was my talk about the IELTS speaking test. If you liked it, one clap. Thank you, everyone. And so who's the next?
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, as you probably got today, we have four, but today I'm going to take the role of two people here. I'm going to be talking today about listening and reading. Let me first of all quickly introduce myself. My name is Dior, and I'm an IELTS instructor with Band 8. The latest one was like that. And I've been working recently as an IELTS instructor and mainly focusing on the sections, actually all sections, but mainly focusing on the sections of listening and reading. And today I'd like to tell you little things about this. And if you're ready, we start. Are you ready, everybody? Are you? That's great. So I'd like to start with the slide, if possible. You did like that, right? Should I do like that? Click it. All right, so I've got a very simple question for you for the beginning. You got a question of like that. What does IELTS stand for? Can you tell me that? International English Language Testing System. Amazing. And next slide, please. You're right, International English Language Testing System. And now I'd like you guys to look at several parts of this part of this explanation. Let's go to these words, first of all. English, international English. So a lot of students, when they finish their general courses and they come to my IELTS classes, they're surprised. They ask me questions like, oh, we still learn English? And I'm like, yeah. A lot of people think that when they finish their general courses, like intermediate, pre-intermediate, at upper intermediate levels, they come to IELTS classes and they think they're gonna have totally different thing there, but this is wrong, definitely. We're gonna be still talking about English language testing system, plus pay attention to that word testing system, which proves the fact that it's just a test. Most of you know already that this is a test where you cannot fail, you cannot pass. This is just the test where it shows your current level of English. And that's testing system. Please, take it as a testing system, nothing else. And as you know, a lot of people are ready for the test very well, but at the end they fail it, which is unfair from one side. But again, in IELTS, I'd say, there is the likelihood that you may fail it for yourself. I would say you can pass and fail it, your level that you aim for yourself. Imagine you want to get 7. So if you get 6.5, you failed. It was your dream to get 7, so you got 6.5. If not, you've got 7, you passed. You can pass or fail for yourself only, I'd say. And I'd like to quickly go through the things that you most already know. Let's go to the next slide. The parts of the IELTS and the sections of that, let's talk about them quickly. Listening, reading, writing, and speaking. I have this information just to make sure that you guys all know the difference and the link between the sections. For example, we know that out of this 4 sections, we can pair 2 of them together. Can you tell me which sections we can pair together? Listening and reading, that's true. And what is the logic? Why we're linking them together, listening and reading? 40 questions. What else? Any more options? Question types, they look like each other, that's true. And also we should understand that listening and reading, they check one type of skill from us. But writing and speaking, they check different skills. And this skill is called, what kind of skill? Who can tell me? Receptive skills, amazing. So receptive skill comes from the word receive, understanding, getting, right? So our listening and reading sections, they check our understanding of the language. And those writing and speaking, they check our productive skills, amazing. So they check how well we can produce the language, which is tougher. Let's imagine you're born. You're born, you're looking at your parents, and you're like, can you speak? When you look at your parents, you're born, like you're a baby. Definitely no. Can you listen? Can you hear something? Maybe no, but later you'll start after several months. So when you see you can see as a newborn, we start to be more exposed to the listening and reading, I believe. Because can you imagine yourself walking in the street and writing something in English? I would say no. Can you imagine yourself walking in the street and listening to something in English? Possible. That proves the fact that we're naturally more exposed to listening and reading sections, right? Writing and speaking. And I would say that's natural that in most of the people and most of the candidates, their listening and reading scores are higher. But how high they are, that's an interesting question. I understand a lot of people say listening and reading sections are pretty easy. And I have to work on my writing, I have to work on my speaking, they say. But then I ask the question, how high is your listening and how high is your reading? I understand you may have 7 already from listening and reading, but why don't make it 9? Why don't make it 8 plus? That's an interesting question because I believe in order to improve, let's imagine you have 5 months, or let's say 2 months, to work on your IELTS in general. Let's say every day you spend 5 hours to work on your listening, and every day you work 5 hours on improving your writing, listening and writing. Believe me, doesn't matter. Every day you spend enough, like equal time for each section, equal amount of time at the end, 2 months. At the end anyways, your listening is going to be higher than writing. And I think you know why. Because anyways, these sections are easier to improve. And I think your job is like, if you feel yourself very comfortable in listening and reading, why not improve it to the highest one, and why not to maximize it? That's it. Now, I'd like to tell a little thing. Actually, I myself graduated the university in Italy, and when I was studying there, I used to work as an English teacher as well. I used to teach Italian people there, Italian children, and those students of Italy, compared to Uzbek people here in Uzbekistan, there are some differences, I'd say. And the main difference comes down to the fact that IELTS in Italy is not as common as it's in Uzbekistan. We should admit that. It can be good, it can be bad, I don't know. But still, they have their own exam, first Cambridge English. It's like the test that gives you levels of C1, C2, and stuff like that. But when I compare those students I had in Italy and those students I have here in Uzbekistan from IELTS, I'd say that there is a difference in the resources. For example, in Italy, there are some students who want to study IELTS, but unfortunately, they don't have enough materials, and the materials they have, it's very limited. And the teachers, seminars, webinars, a lot of things, they're not as common as it's in Uzbekistan. And a student in Italy who wants to study IELTS will probably suffer from the lack of resources. But when it comes to Uzbekistan, I don't think we have lack of resources. I think we have enough, and unfortunately over that of what's needed for us. That's why I think there is a little problem in Uzbekistan. We have enough materials, but sometimes they're too much. And it's important to be careful. And in this, abundance of materials, a lot of people actually forget the cores of IELTS listening and reading. You should know what is core. Who can tell me what is core? Center of something, the basic part, right? If we go to the next slide, I'll talk about this one more time. So I'd like to tell you today about the core of IELTS listening and reading. I would like to remind you, I would better say, because I honestly pretty active in watching all the webinars and seminars, and I see in most of them people talk about the things that I may talk about today. But still, I'd like to be a bit unique and just remind you the cores of IELTS listening and IELTS reading. Core, from the dictionary you can see, it means the basic and most important part of something. The basic and the most important part of IELTS listening and the basic and most important part of IELTS reading we'll be talking today. I didn't make my presentation too long so that it wouldn't be boring. And I'll try to tell you these basic things, and I believe working on these basic core things, any one of you can improve it to the highest one and to maximize it. So would like to start. The first one, please. So whatever comes to my mind when I say the core of IELTS listening, guys, it is listening comprehension. I had a teacher who used to tell me all the time, you want to improve your listening? Listen more. You want to improve your speaking? Speak more. You want to improve your reading? Read more. The same is for writing. You want to improve your writing? Write more. And I'm like, wow, what a secret. Thank you. I'll never forget that secret. And actually true, I believe. It really helped me a lot in my life. And here in listening, you might be surprised. To improve your listening, you should have a good listening comprehension. So how should we improve our listening? Comprehend, it means understand. And today we'll talk about how to improve little tips, personal tips that work for me, and the tips that work for my students. I'd like to tell you today. We can start. Let's start on the first one. Active listening. This is something that really helped me in my life and probably helped my students and can help you too. So who can tell me what is active listening? What is called active? Does it move?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Active listening is when you listen something consciously. You understand what is happening. But passive listening, like a baby is exposed to a language, absorbing without a consciousness, a passive.
Exactly. All right. Thank you. I'll give a little example. Let's say you're walking. You're walking in the street, and you're listening to podcasts in English. You walk in the street. You're looking around everywhere. Is it passive listening or active listening? That's passive listening because you're not listening actually to the podcast. You're just walking around and looking at people. You're in the underground and listening to podcasts, looking at everybody who's sitting, standing. Is it passive or active? Passive, definitely. You're sitting at home in a quiet room. You have your podcast. You have notes, pen and pencil, and paper. It is active listening, definitely. So active listening is so important because if you don't pay attention to what is being said, definitely there is a chance that you may miss the important information from there. That's why I would really recommend not to just listen to podcasts. A lot of people listen to podcasts, but actively listen to podcasts, and that's my first tip. Second one. Dictations. I'm not here to promote this. I know a lot of people hate it, and my students too, but I can tell that it helps. What is dictation? You probably know. There is a sentence, you have to write everything. Let me first tell you a little story. You know when first time was the IELTS created? Which year? Anybody? Any information? 19 something, if I'm not mistaken, right? Actually, I don't know either. But I believe it's somewhere in 19 something. And you know, as I researched, the first type of listening was in the form of dictation, which means the speakers would stay here and say, like, yesterday I watched TV with my friends, and students had to write down everything. Yesterday I watched TV with my friends. And then the organizers of the IELTS looked at each other and said, well, look, people are getting high score from listening compared to higher score compared to others. Let's change something. Let's make it tougher. And they changed it. They changed into a system where the booklet that you have on your hands and what the speaker says, in those times we didn't have probably speakers, it was like a person. This is a total, complete paraphrase of what is on your hand, on your hands. You understand? The paper that you have and what is being said here, these are complete paraphrases. That's the first tip you should understand in listening. They're not going to tell you the same thing as it's written here, so you should be ready for paraphrases. Then they changed it. They got the test, and then one moment they looked at each other and said, let's change it again. Why? Again, high. Let's make it tougher. They said, okay, let's make it tougher. You know what they did now? They added distractors. You know distractor? Distractors, when you listen, for example, birthday. You wait like birthday, and says like, well, my birthday is after my mother's birthday. After 3 days. My mother's birthday is on the 20th September. And it will be like 20 September, you write it, that's all date, I was waiting for that. But it's wrong, because it's gonna be 23rd, something like that. So that's distracted. They decided to add it to make it even more tough, even more complex. Then what happened at the end? Recently in 2020, if you heard, they again made some changes. They changed sections into parts. I don't understand the logic behind that, but still, maybe, I don't know even really why. But still, another change they put was in old Cambridges, you know, there were examples at the beginning. Now, starting from Cambridge 15, there is no example. Even there is, they're not going to repeat it again. That kind of change they put to make it even tougher. You see, listening is a section that kind of is easy, and examiners also understand probably, that's why they make it tougher and tougher, but still people get higher from that. I think it's natural, again. Dictations can help you to increase your understanding and listening comprehension, really. You just write everything. What is important? Not writing, but once you write this little text, at the end you have to check. That checking part is the most important. You understand what kind of spelling mistakes you're making. You understand what kind of grammar mistakes you're making, articles, prepositions, all of them. And once you understand, your understanding of the language that the speaker is using in the audio is going to get better, definitely. So that's why I would recommend to do it, but I'm not going to force you. Next, please. Spellings. I'll have a little experiment. Who can tell me the spelling of the word bicycle? Can you? Somewhere here. Let's try.
bicycle.
Is that right? E, right at the end. Correct. So bicycle, we, as a joke, say bicucle, right? bicucle. The bicycle, it's a very common mistake in spelling, it turns out. And I understand one moment that my students are making a lot of mistakes. I'll give a little example. I had a student who was an IT guy, who used to be working in IT, and he used to make calls to other people in other countries. His speaking was fine. And he came to me like, oh, I have only 1 week to prepare for IELTS. I have to get 7. And I'm like, really? Yes. So we did listening together. And out of 40 questions, he made 11 spelling mistakes because he never wrote English. He only talked in English. And I was like, oh my God, I know your treatment. And your cure is to do spellings. So spellings, you take your friend and then you spell to each other words. You just say the words. Let's say coffee. And you have to write coffee, C-O-F-F-E, right? And you do the same 30 words, for example, and at the end you check. And the problems that you face every time, you're going to have to work on them so that in the real exam, you're not going to have problems. Honestly, in my real exam, I was like, under the exam condition, you don't know what's going to happen. I'm taking my exam third time, I'm sitting like and listening, and I forgot how to spell the word helicopter. Is that helicopter? Helicopter? A doctor, doctor, helicopter. Oh my gosh. So I was expecting to see this word in reading because your answer sheet is going to be still with you. I didn't see this word. Thanks God, I guessed, and that was correct. I mean, you know the words, but you may definitely forget them in the real exam. Be careful. That's why constant practice of these words again and again and again. It's going to be really helpful. Next one. Last thing I can tell you, it's accent challenges. As you know, we have accents in listening. And what kind of accents we have there? British, Australian, American, New Zealand possibly Canadian, right? The common ones are still American, British, Australian. Do they have Indian accent? No. Russian accent? No. If they have, you may say, well, like, I came to check my English, not Indian language. That's the same thing. That's why, I don't know, I've never seen them. Maybe there is. But probably the accents are going to be from English-spoken countries. That's why accent challenge should help you to get adapted to the accents. How can it help you? First, you go to YouTube. You search for some bloggers. Probably watch some bloggers who speak in British accent, those who speak in American, those who speak in Australian. I did myself as a student challenge like that. 1 week, I used to watch only bloggers of American accent. And after 1 week, I started to understand American English much better. Then I tried the same 1 week with British accent bloggers. I watched everyday British bloggers. Then Australian. So this way I improved my understanding of the accents, of different types of accents. It really helped me. And I think that can help you too. That's all about listening. And I told you that these are the cores. By improving them, definitely you should have at least like normal score, acceptable, decent one. But when it comes to our other tips, grammar, vocab, in listening, practicing definitely makes sense. All these things are already like, after you have your good listening comprehension, you can easily prepare for the IELTS. And that student who prepared for 1 week got 7 at the end, which proves the fact that you just need the language. That's all. Now we continue with reading. It's not a surprise that in reading, gonna have the same secret, reading comprehension. How can we improve our reading comprehension? And I'd like to start one by one. Let's go. First one. Next slide. Paraphrasing skills. As you know, paraphrase. We should understand IELTS reading is a game of words. It's all about your vocabulary. Trust me, if you have very bad vocabulary, you never succeed in IELTS. And that's proven. You just have to work on your vocab. You should understand better. Because if you don't know the word, you don't understand that phrase. If you don't understand that phrase, you don't understand the sentence. If you don't understand that sentence, you don't understand the paragraph or all the passage. What do you want to understand then? That's the point. That's why it's really important to have good reading comprehension. Let's talk about how to do it. Paraphrasing skills, learn words. At the end, I'll tell you a good skill to do it. You have to learn how the questions and the passage, they're paraphrased, and that's very important. Later I'll tell you the technique for that. Next one. Read more. I have taken IELTS 3 times, and the first time I took, I'll be honest, I got 6.5 from reading. I was expecting like 8, but I got 6.5. I was pretty kind of disappointed. But then I retook my exam after 6 months, and I got 8.5 from reading. I was surprised myself. And I asked myself what I did so that I get like jump of 2 band score from reading. And my answer was like, it turned out that I started reading more, because I kind of got more interested in reading. When I took 6.5, honestly, I hated reading. I don't like it still, because it takes so much time, but still, I try. But in those times, like when I took the second time, in this 6 months, I believe every day I used to read articles, I used to read books, I used to analyze them and stuff like that, and it all helped me definitely to improve my reading comprehension. At least it made me, I think, a better and faster reader, I believe. That's why reading more is important. Believe me, you should read, and I would advise you some kind of like tips. In the morning, we all use your phones, right? At least like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Or when you're going to sleep, use your phones. You say goodbye to your phone, and then you go to sleep. Why don't you say goodbye to your not phone, but book? Why don't you take a book or article, read it like 10 minutes every day? Enough. 10 minutes, you read it, you go to sleep. In the morning, you wake up, not your phone, don't touch your phone. You go to your article or something, you read it quickly, 10 minutes. That's it. For the beginning, it's enough. Step by step, you're going to improve and increase the amount of that. And at the end, you're going to start reading more and more. It finishes when you start loving reading. When you start loving reading, that's all. Nobody can stop you. That's why do it, and it definitely is going to help you. Next, we have keyword technique. This is something that a lot of instructors usually tell, and I'd like to tell that too. Keyword technique, this is working with the vocabulary and synonyms. As I told you, reading is all about synonyms. I got a little practice for you. If you go to the next page, we can see, let's go to the next one. Is there anybody? Yes. So we got a little, I'm going to illustrate it to show how it works. You can see the little sentence. Studies have signaled that some things are declining in number faster than ever before. I underlined these keywords because they're important. We can see studies have shown, signaled, indicated possibly. Some things are declining in number faster than ever before, and now, challenge for you. If you go to the next page, we can see a little text. Hope it's visible, is it? So let's find the answer. Who can tell me the answer? So, language, just language. So, is that right? All right, great. So now let's go to the keywords that we just had. For example, studies. What keyword is here? Studies. Instead of studies, we have research, right? If we go to next page, hope somebody's telling. Actually, we had lines. Yes, research. So research is the synonym for studies. Next one, signaled. Can you tell me what's the word used here? Indicates. Yes, next one we can get the line. We'll do it at the end. So that something are declining. Declining, dying out. You know what is die out, right? Die is die out, it means to get extinct, to get less and stuff like that. Dying out, and faster than ever before. At an unprecedented rate. Exactly. So that word, that phrase actually means faster than ever before. So if we now go to several pages. One more. No, forward. One more. The answer is going to be languages, you're right. What a surprise, right? So we have languages as the correct answer here because it says studies signal that languages are declining. Research indicates that languages are dying out at an unprecedented rate. So the keywords helped. Okay, you got the answer. And what? You don't stop here. The thing that I want to actually tell is not this. The thing I want to tell is after that, the next page. Now I would really recommend you to just take your notebook, a separate notebook, for example, and write down all the things I just saw. Studies, we understand that it can be paraphrased as research. Signal indicate declining number dying out and faster than ever before at an unprecedented rate. As a result, now you learned not only words, but also synonyms to them. And this is called keyword technique that you can see in different places. And I hope you got this point. And when you do this again and again, repetitively every time, it definitely improves your vocabulary. And this is, I think, more interesting way of improving your vocabulary rather than just learning the list of words, but usually it does not help. That's why try it, and hopefully your reading comprehension should get better. And one moment later on, when you start reading better, you start understanding better, then your job is going to be to practice more and pay attention to your time management, definitely. So time management skill, I think, is already another topic to talk about, like deeply. What is time management? How to control your time? How much time to spend and stuff like that. That's why these are the cores, as I told you. Most of you know these things, but please don't forget them, most importantly. That anyways, because nowadays we have so many techniques, strategies that a lot of people are learning, but one moment I ask my students, what are you doing? And it will be like, I'm kind of watching movies, I'm learning idioms, I'm learning slangs, and I'm reading some articles, essays, or whatever, and I'm like, in terms of reading, listening, well, I'm doing practices every day, I'm trying to push myself to the limit, I'm gonna do this, and I tell him, like, are you reading anything every day? He's like, no. Are you listening to podcasts? No, only practicing. I'm like, it's not correct. Please don't forget them and do them every day on a daily basis. 1 hour for listening, 1 hour for reading actively every day is gonna really help you and put you in shape, most importantly. That's why you should try. And I think I have anything else? Next page. Thank you. So that's the end. Thank you very much. Thanks for attention. I think, yeah, I should call you, right? Great, so Shokhruz's gonna call. Let's do it.
Thank you guys for the amazing speech. I guess I don't have to introduce Azbek Eminov to you.
Khop, good to see you again. Look at this title. What's saying smash your writing? In your language is going to be yozishi buzvar. All right, yozish qanaqa buzvorish kerak? The easiest way is qalam ruchkani olasiz, qo'lingizda paper you have, shuni turasizda jahl qilib shuni yiritib yuborsangiz buzilgan bo'ladi. Bu bir. Ikkinchisi slaydlarda ko'rsatiladi. Hop. So first question is, everybody's talking about here, my teammates and so far, who's not first time here in Ibrat project? Who's been coming for several times? All right, good. And you've been to different lectures, seminars, and speakers, different suggestions. And I'm gonna have a little more addition to their speech and to my teammates' speech. Before starting, I have questions. I'll try to ask questions, and I want you to respond my questions actively. We're gonna have a little interactions. And first thing is like, can you stand up? Please, please. Stand up. So the reason why I became a teacher is to order people what I want them to do, and I achieved my dream. Thank you. Sit down. Tushundinglarmi nima deganim? O'qituvchi bo'lishdan oldin dream qilardim. Qaysi kasb eng zo'r kasb, shu odamlarni xohlagan ishiga soladigan deganda o'ylab shu o'qituvchi ekan dedim. Mana tur desa turadi, o'tir desa o'tiradi. Salom beradi, not turib olsa hammasi kelib, ustoz nima kerak, zo'r, menga yoqadi. All right. Hop. First question, the versus question. In IELTS, we have two things important. But like two things. First one is knowledge. Second one is skill. Who can tell me the difference between knowledge and skill? Just feel free. I'm here. Feel free. Knowledge and skill.
Assalamu alaikum one more time. So I think knowledge is the thing you are know, but the skill is the thing you can do.
Good one. Thank you. And we have cute girls there.
So can you pass?
I wanted to say the same, that knowledge is to know something, but the skill is to know how to use it.
Good one. Thank you. Anyone? Any other answers? More detailed, in-depth answers. Uh-huh. Good. Like left side. Sir, left side. There's a guy raising his hand.
Skills is the ability of using of your knowledge.
Good one. Good answer. Yanavala. Do we have someone else?
I think that skill is knowledge plus practice.
Good one. Thank you. The best answer. Everybody answered as much as they can. So let me clarify one thing. Knowledge and skill. Who's studying IELTS, learning IELTS here, attending to courses? Good. I usually tell my students, and to you as well, knowledge until IELTS is your English. Your English is your knowledge in IELTS section. But skill is what you learn in IELTS preparation. Skill is only improved by practicing a lot. You know it, but doing is different. You need to feel it. Look, usually students come in their IELTS level. First of all, they have lack of knowledge. And second of all, if they have knowledge, what they do is like they do once reading, one time listening, or not so regular, but from time to time they do practice and they go to exam, and their true knowledge cannot be presented in IELTS itself, and they get lower than what they have. And the problem is here, lack of skills. Who has language of intermediate but got 6.5 or something? Who checked it? Here we don't usually check our knowledge level. What we check is like we pay attention to number of answers that we have in reading. Okay, so I have 23, and after 1 month I have 24. It's like close to exam, I have 25. Or some students 30 and stuck at 30. 40 never happened, but happens. So what happens here, you need to understand the knowledge and skill. If you're studying IELTS, ask yourself, is my knowledge enough? How do you know? You take grammar tests and vocabulary tests, not IELTS test. IELTS requires you time management. And you need to understand, there are students when they go to course and they get exam like practices, and when they go home, they sit and they start doing their test. And they find somewhere 35 or 38 at home without exam condition. It takes them 2 hours, and they start bragging, look, my answer is 35 out of 40. When they go exam, everything is reversed. So my suggestion, you need to understand knowledge versus skill. Skill is taught in IELTS. Skill only comes after a lot of practices. You can go to, you know, non-Y baker? Or how about noodle man, the cook? Lamon tayyorlaydigan odamlarni ko'rganmisizlar? Ha? Yoki videolar ko'rasizlarmi? YouTube'larda, shortslarda yoki Instagram'larda katta manual ishlaydiganlar, qo'li bilan tez-tez. Yoki kim bo'tdi sabzilarni yaxshilab arta oladi, kat qila oladi. Kim ovqat qiladi bu yerda? Birinchi marta ovqat qilganingizni eslaysizmi? Females mostly. Yoki studentlar bo'lsa. Sizni tezligingiz qancha o'zgarganini o'shandan bilsangiz bo'ladi. Skill o'sha narsa. Endi readingda qanaqa qilib skillni oshirish kerak? Faqat reading qilib. Ya'ni faqat reading qilib deganda readingda yoki writingda yoki listeningda yoki speakingda hammasi skill. Skill'i bor degani knowledge zo'r degani emas. Buni ham bilib olishingiz kerak. Bu meni birinchi anaqa sizlarga ma'lumotim. Ya'ni ko'pchilikda knowledge skill farqi yo'q. Ayniqsa IELTS olmaganlarda. Shuni bilib olinglar. Next. Hop. Next one, the writing. You all know about writing. Kim biladi writing haqida? Was a section, task 1, task 2, ma'lumoti bormi bu yerda kimdir? Raise your hands, please. Okay. Kimda umuman ma'lumoti yo'q writing bo'yicha? Okay. So you're one, so there are more. Hop, boshlab ketaveramiz. Task 1, task 2 deb tanishtirib o'tirmayman. Writingda eng katta muammo nima? Eng katta muammo. Idea. Okay. Yana bitta muammochi keyingisi. Time management. Hop, yana. Structures. Coherence, cohesion. Thank you. Vocabulary. Good. Yana nima muammolar bor aytingda. Men aytaymi yana nima muammo bor? Yoza olmaslik muammosi bor. Writingni boshlaysizda oxirigacha bora olmaslik muammosi bor. Kimda shunaqa muammo bor? Writing boshlaydi, introduction, shu bilan faqat introduction deb qolib ketadiganlar bor. Yoki body paragraphdan keyin yo olmayagisi kelib qoladi, yoki ko'chaga chiqishga kelib qoladi, nimadirlar bo'ladi. Bormi shunaqa muammolar? Raise your hands. Oh, yaxshi. Xo'p, shu oxirgi paytlarda faqat mana shu mavzuda gapiradigan bo'lib qoldi. Writingda duh kerak. Tushunasizlar? Birinchisi duh. Duh nima desa, bu sizni courage, ichkaridagi jasoratingiz. Ya'ni eng katta muammo, the main problem in most IELTS writers, candidates, they think perfectionism is the key. Ya'ni ular har doim nimani xohlaydi? Writingda perfect yozishni xohlaydi. Xo'p, ular o'ylaydiki, mana bitta o'tirishda men hozir hamma writingni zo'r yozishim kerak deb turib, yozayotgan paytda vocab qidiradiganlar bor. Yozyapti-da, miyasida vocablar keladi, vocabulary keladi, lekin o'ylaydiki, yeah, this doesn't deserve to write dedi-da, keyin qidirishni boshlaydi dictionarylarga qarab. Bormi shunaqalar? Bor. Xo'p, nima endi muammo buni yechimi desa, prosta to'g'ri tushunib olinglar. Что kim bo'lishidan qat'iy nazar, writingdan 9 olganmi, 11 olganmi, yoki anu writingni yozdirganlarmi, create qilganlarmi, Cambridgemi, farqi yo'q, любой odamni olib kelasiz va u baribir yozishdan oldin hech bo'lmasa o'ylab oladi. Tushunasizlar? O'ylab oladi. O'ylaydi. Sizlarni o'ylashinglar emas, u boshqacha o'ylash u. Men 10 yil, 5 yil, 6 yil tinmasdan writing yozuvchilarni aytmoqman, instruktorlarni aytmoqman. Ana o'shalar ham nima qiladi? O'ylab oladi. Siz ham o'ylashingiz kerak. Endi o'ylashning steplari bor. Sizda birinchi muammo writingni yozishdan oldin zo'r yozishni o'ylaysizlar-da sizlar. Sen tugat avval. Ano ish qilmasdan oldin qanaqa qilib endi ertaga men yoki 1 oydan keyin, 1 yildan keyin men nimadir millioner bo'lib ketsam ekan degan fikrga o'xshaydi. Writingni yozishdan oldin zo'r yozishni o'ylash bu yaxshi narsa emas. Birinchi o'zi yozib ol. Meni maslahatim bu hozir 7 olib writingdan olib bo'lganlar yoki writingdan 8 olgan yoki instruktorlar uchun emas. Bu sizlar uchun. Sizlar IELTS o'qiyotgan bo'lsangiz yoki writingda hali ham struggle qilayotgan bo'lsangiz. Bolalar bor, qizlar bor. They have speaking band score. Wow. Lekin writingga kelganda wow. De? Muammo. Nima desa, ana o'shalarda ham bitta eng katta muammo perfectionism. This is mentality. Ya'ni bizlarning mentalitetda bor narsa, hamma narsani cho'tki qilishim kerak yoki qilishim kerak emas, yoki nimadir qilsak ayb bo'lib qolsa nima qiladi? Har doim so'kish eshitganmiz. Va men menga tegma desa, yo'q, ketyapsiz, qo'lingizga bir uradi-da. Yoki maktabda ham shu, ko'chada ham shu, kritikalar ko'p, judgmentsda. Bu ong ostidagi problema. Men nima aytyapman sizlarga? Writing yozayotganingizda introduction, body paragraph, conclusionga yeta olmasligingizda agar sababi I have no enough words deyotgan bo'lsangiz, katta adashasiz. Sizga maslahatim writing yozayotganingizda birinchi tselingiz bu tugatishni o'ylang. Qanaqa conclusionni oxirgi nuqtasini qo'yishim kerak degan narsani o'ylang. Qanaqa perfect yozishim kerak demasdan trayektoriyasini o'zgartiring yozasiz. Bu birinchisi yozayotganlarga. Keyin ikkinchi masala. Look. Imagine you're given task 2, topic. And usually what you do is reading topics not to understand. Nima degani tarjimasi? Mana writing task 2 berildi yoki task 1 berilyapti. Mana shu ish qilishadi. Reading topics not to understand. Nima degani bu? Tushunmasdan o'qish emas. O'qiydi, tushunmaslik uchun. Nima degani endi bu? Mana siz olasiz tushunish uchun o'qiysiz, mana task 2ni o'qiysiz. Tezda, odatda nima bo'ladi? Task 2 berildi, o'qiydi. Average writer. O'qiydi, bo'ldi, ketdik. Paraphrase-dan boshlaymiz. Tez yozaman, body paragraph shunaqa boshlaydi. Ana orada nima ham yo'q, bir pauza. Reading is a given topic usually once or twice. Ya'ni odatda biz necha marta o'qiymiz? Bir, tushunmay qolsa 2 marta. Sizlar inglizsizlar-yu, o'shaning uchun 1 marta, 2 marta o'qish yetadi o'zi odatda. Biza yoki inglizlar uni 5-6 marta o'qish kerak. Shunaqami? Teskarisi. Ya'ni sizlarga maslahatim, topic mana writingda IELTS o'qiyotgan bo'lsangiz, o'qituvchilaringiz aytganmi sizlarga off topic bo'lib qolibsan deb? Yoki o'zingiz o'qiganmisiz writingingizni, off topicligingizni bilasizmi? Odatda biz bilmaymiz, biz o'qiymiz, keyin men zo'r yozganman, sen noto'g'ri aytyapsan deymiz yoki off topicligimizni bilmaymiz. Off topic nima degani off topic? Boshqa chetga chiqib ketish degani. Shuning uchun maslahatim, berilgan essay task 2 ni yoki task 1 ni, topicini tushungunizcha o'qishingiz kerak. Endi necha marta o'qisa tushunadi odam? Topicni necha marta o'qish kerak tushunish uchun? 3 marta yoki 4 marta, 5 marta yoki tushunguncha, ha? Tushunganingizni qayerdan bilasiz? G'oyalar kelishni boshlaganda bilasiz. G'oyalar kelmayotgan bo'lsa-chi? Yana o'qish kerak, to'g'rimi? Xo'p. Tushunganingizni bitta yo'li bor. Tushunganingizdan keyin topicni boshqatdan o'zingiz tilingizda yozishingiz kerak, paraphrase. Agar paraphrase qila olmayapsizmi, demak siz topicni yaxshi tushunmagansiz. Odatda tushunsangiz, yaxshi tushunsangiz, siz uni chiqazib bera olasiz. Unaqa zo'r chiqazib bermasiz ham yozib bera olasiz. Topic paraphrase, kimdir paraphrase qiladi, lekin boshqa narsalarni yozib qo'yadi. Bizda ko'p student bo'ladi, men topic beramiz, uni boshqacha yozib qo'yishadi. Paraphrase qildim deydi, ya'ni o'zini tug'ilganidan boshlab chiqqan experience, hayot davomidagi ma'lumotlarni qo'shib yozib qo'yadi. Paraphrasing unaqa emas, o'shani cho'tka qilib qaytadan yozib ber. Xo'p, endi paraphrase qilayotganda kim yozadi, baribir o'xshamaydi. Men topic tushundim, lekin paraphrase qilaman, lekin yaxshi chiqmaydi paraphrasem deydiganlar bormi bu yerda? Ha, bor. Qolganlar zo'r. Xo'p. Nimaga yaxshi chiqmaydi desa, sizlarga yana bitta maslahat. Topic berilyapti-da, o'qiyapti, mana qilyapti o'sha ishni 5 marta, 6 marta tushundi-da, keyin paraphrase qilayotgan paytda men bitta topic, men bitta o'zini varog'i. Topicga qarab yana paraphrase qilishni boshlaydi. Bu to'g'ri emas. Siz agar o'qib bo'lganingizdan keyin, tushunganingizdan keyin ana topicni olib tashlang ko'zingizdan. Take it off your sight. Olib tashlashingiz kerak. Agar men peshonangizda turaversa, qaraverasiz. Majbur qaraganingizda sizda avtomatik signal keladi. Voy, menga qara, sinonimini ishlat. Men bu so'zni qaytarma, sinonimini ishlat. Fokusingiz nimaga ketadi? Sinonim qidirishga yana ketadi. Muammo. O'shaning uchun olib tashlash kerak. Olib tashlab, keyin yozing. Ana shuni bir nechidir marta skill qaytarib qilaversangiz, skill qaytarganda ortadi. Writing 6, 6.5 bo'lsa yaxshi, u keyingilarda hozir aytaman, u muammo qattaligini. Hozir bu writingni introductiondan, body paragraphdan o'tolmayotganlar uchun yoki writingni boshlay olmayotganlar uchun xohlaydi, lekin boshlay olmaydi. Yoki shunaqa writerlar bor, 6 olgan, lekin writing yomon ko'radi. Noto'g'ri yo'ldan yuryapsizlar. Agar tekst yo'ldan yursangiz, ming uzoq bo'lsa ham eplab keta olasiz. Siz asfalt bo'lmagan yo'llarga chiqyapsiz-da, sizni oyoqlaringiz yeyilib ketyapti yoki baloningiz yeyilyapti. Shuning uchun maslahatim, knowledge skills, keyingisi topicga qaytadan o'qish, tushunganingizni tekshirish uchun paraphrase. Ana o'shanda bittada hammasini olib ketasiz. Keyingi slide, please. Keyin bu boshida bu wrong approach deyapman-ku. Rushing to finish as soon as possible. Bolalar bor impatient. Ayniqsa hozirgi holatingizda, bunda o'zingizga qarang, bitta joyda uzoqroq o'tirib qolsangiz, o'zi sizning oyoqlaringiz qimillashni boshlaydi. To'g'ri? Ozgina uzoqroq o'tirsangiz, qachon ketsam ekan deb bitta qimirlashni boshlaymiz. Ana nima deydi? Tranquilizer bo'ladi-yu yoki vibrator, ha? Xo'p, writing under pressure. Topic mana hozir bemalol o'tirish, tastu desam yoki diyor sizlarga ko'rsatdim readingda. Bu hammasidan muhim. Davay top desa hamma pressure, hozir men topishim kerak degan narsa bo'ladi. Relax. Ana o'shanga tushmasliging uchun ko'proq harakat qilish kerak. Har kuni tanish kerak. Tanib olsangiz oson bo'ladi. Mana men hozir sizlar bilan chiqyapman-da, sizlar bilan tanishmasligim uchun sizlar menga gapirishinglar kerak emas va eshitishinglar kerak emas. Va men ham sizlarga gapirmasam, biz bir-birimizga qovoq solib o'tiramiz. Oddiy narsalarni mukammal murakkablashtirmaylik-da. Don't complicate the things. Oson narsa. Nima qilish kerak? Do not rush to finish your writing. Take your time. Manda examda 60 minut beradi-ku, qanaqa qilib tugataman degan savol bor. Sani tezliging natural bo'lsa, keyin tugatasan. Agar tezliging natural 60 minutga tushmasa, ikkita testda 40 minutdan, yarim soatdan yozmasang, sen examga kirma. Agar balda yuqori qo'ysang deyapman, men 7 ni tepasi yoki misol uchun o'zingizga qarang. Tugatish uchun bo'lsa ham. Keyingisi. Disorganized arguments. Disorganized arguments degani bolalar bor yozadi, body paragraphiga o'qituvchisiga bersa, menga qara deydi. O ideyalaring u yoqda, bu yoqda nima bo'pti degan narsa bor. Va bu yozayotganda brainstorming qilmaslik. Studentlarga men tushunmayman. Nimaga brainstorm qilmaysan yozishdan oldin? Nima degani brainstorm? Yes, gathering ideas, collecting ideas. Qatdan ko'chadami gathering ideas? Gathering ideas qilib yuramiz. Nima qilamiz? O'tirib, plan qilasiz, not chizasiz. Yes. Exactly. Advantage, disadvantage, agree, disagree. Mana mashinalarni yozib yig'ishingiz kerak. Brainstorming yo'ligi. Ko'pchilik o'ylaydi, menga writingga vaqt berildi, 40 minut yozishim kerak, brainstorming qilsam, vaqtim ketib qoladi deb o'ylaydi. They think that they have no enough time, but this is wrong. Noto'g'ri preparation. Qaytaryapman. Make a list of your ideas. It will give you smoothness while you're writing. Keyingisi. Aytganimdek, complete qilmaydi, tugab qoladi. Mana shu 5 ta step sizni har doim to'xtatadigan stepingiz. Va bu steplarni yozishdan oldin qilyapmiz hali. Biz hali yozmadi u. Kirishgacha bo'lgan narsa. Har safar when you have holding your pencil before writing and then scratching your head, think about these things. Ideya qachon kelar ekan deb o'ylanib o'tirgan paytda shularni o'ylaylar. To'xta, mening maqsadim hozir birinchi maqsadim dakansa yozib olish bo'ladi. Keyingisi. Yana bitta. Hop. Academic or advanced deb qiynaladiganlar bormi? So'zlarni qidirib yuradiganlar. Hozir men akademik ishlatsammi-ki, advanced debmi? Mana shu so'z ishlatsam nima bo'lar ekan deydiganlar bormi? Bu ham bitta problema. Qachon siz akademik yoki advanced degan so'zga qiziqishingiz kerak? Qachon kerak sizlarga bu? Writing tugatgandan keyin yes, analyze qilayotganingizda kerak bo'ladi. Editing. Edit degani nima edi? O'zgartirayotganingizda kerak bo'ladi. Hech qachon yozayotgan paytda akademik so'zni ishlatishim kerak deb o'sha kelgan mana want so'zi keladigan bo'lsa yoki walk so'zi keladigan bo'lsa, don't go for stride or trump degan so'zlarga borish shart emas. Yoki enjoy degan so'z keladigan bo'lsa, nima qilasan? Yozaver. Sizning maqsadingiz complete, keyin sinonimlariga qaraysiz. Students think more about words than delivering the ideas correctly and naturally. Keyingisi. Word qidirib yurish, academic advanced formal. Kandidat bo'lsangiz, yozayotganda word qidirib yurish konsentratsiyasi polniy oladi. O'shaning uchun yozib bo'lgandan keyin qidiring. Ishni bajaringda, keyin tekshiring. Ana o'shanda yaxshi bo'ladi. Keyingisi. Keyin examga kirib ketayotgandagilar yoki shablon qidirib yuradiganlar. Ustoz, shablon yo'qmi? Zo'r joyi yo'qmi? Faqat hammasiga bittadan ko'chirib oladigan deganlar. Making a list of words to use in any essays. Ya'ni universal wordlar bo'ladi. Men hozir deydi comprehend, maintain, content, deal with. Men so'zlarni yodlab olsam, listini qilib olsam, tushunib olsam, kirgan ekan. Speakingda ham shunaqa bo'ladi. Men so'zlarni yodlab olsam, hozir ishlab chiqaman deb. Bo'lmaydi bu. Tabiiy kelish kerak. Siz preparation qilyapsizmi? Bo'l topic related vocab o'rganing, bo'l. Bunaqa 10 ta so'z hammasiga tushaman demanglar. Keyingisi. Endi writingni ichiga kiryapmiz. writingda baholayotganda nima qilamiz? 4 ta kriteriya bor, hamma biladimi? Hamma biladi, lekin follow qilmaydi. Nimagaligini bilmayman. Hamma biladi bor-ku. Hamma biladi. Yoki explanation problema, yoki following is problem. Endi ko'pchilik, most people IELTS o'rganayotganda manbaga qaraydi. O'rganayotganlar va lexical resource ga qaraymiz. Kimga qarasang so'z qidirib yurgan bo'ladi, kimga qarasang ba'zida grammar qarab yurgan bo'ladi. Bu pre-IELTS ishi, bu general English ishi. Endi IELTSda qaramadimi ham, qarang, lekin priority bu emas-ku. Necha foiz mana shu ikkalasi? What's the percentage of the compound form of these two? 50%. Nima qilasiz? Tekshirayotganda ham grammaring yaxshi emas ekan, vocabularyni o'zgartir. Boshqa komment yo'q. Xo'p, mana-chi. Men nimaga birinchi qo'ydim? Task response, task achievement. Eshitganmisizlar? Kim eshitgan buni? Raise your hands. Sizning writingiz task 1 ham, task 2 ham mana shu 4 ta criteria bo'yicha baholanadi. Birinchisi task response, keyingisi coherence and cohesion. Task achievement bu task 1 uchun. Task response bu task 2 uchun. Ozgina slight difference. Qolgani o'zingizlar bilgan. Coherence cohesion nima degani? Strukturani bog'lanishi. Yaxshi. Ideyalarni bog'lanishi, xo'p. Ma'nolar kelishi, xo'p. Qatdan kelishtira. Aha, sir. Good one, thank you. Endi bular nima desa, men hozir sizlarga mana shu task response, coherence tushuntirib beraman. Men buni xohlagan joyingizda qilsangiz bo'ladi. Morfini ikkinchisi blue ni olasiz yoki yangi versiyadan olasiz. Morfini cho'tka tugatsangiz, Cambridge in use, Murphy. Bilasizlar Murphyni? Любой odam biladi Murphyni, bor-ku. Qizili bilan ko'k tugating, и все. You're good to get 7+. Zo'r tugatish kerak. Lexical resource, reading class, listening classes, har xil show, documentary, topic specific vocabulary o'rganasiz. Bo'ldi. Sizning lexicalingizda muammo yo'q. Sizda o'zi ko'p vocabda muammo bo'lmaydi. Odatda IELTS'ni o'qiyotgan upper intermediate yoki bitta listening qilgan 25 tadan 30 tagacha chiqayotgan bolalarda IELTS'dan 7 olish imkoniyati bor. Faqat ular fail bo'ladigan joyi men birinchi 2 tada. Chunki ular qo'yib yuboradi. Next, please. Slide. Hop. Band descriptorni kim ko'rgan? Task 1, task 2 ni. Kim tekshirgan o'zi qiziqib, qanaqa baholanadi? Qo'ldan ko'taringlarchi. Tekshirib bir marta tekshirganlar, qo'ldan ko'taringlar. Bir marta tekshirganman, bo'ldi, shu bilan qaramaganlar bormi? Umuman qaramaganlar bormi? To'g'risini aytavringlar, o'zi bilib oldim kim-kimligini. Hop. 2 marta tekshirganman, 2-3 marta unaqa ko'p emas deydiganlar. Qarab turardim oldin deganlar bormi? Endi постоянно qarayman, har safar o'rganishga harakat qilaman deydiganlar. Qarang, qarab qo'yinglar. Bitta ko'tarib oling qo'lingizni. Ko'rdinglarmi? Foizga qo'yaverasiz. Mana. Siz IELTS topshirgansiz, to'g'rimi? You said like your speaking was 8, right? You also taken IELTS, right? And I guess like you teach as well. Good one. Hop. Explanation of band descript. Endi mana shu qaraydiganlarning ichida. Borib men band descriptga qarayman, ko'rganman. Qaraganim bilan anyways, it's ambiguous. Ya'ni unclear. Hech narsani tushunmayman. Yoki chala tushunaman, nima deyotganini vasha tushunmayman. Nima so'rayapti ular deydiganlar bormi? Band descriptorni ko'rganmisizlar o'zi writingda? 9 ga nima bo'lishi kerak, 8 ga nima bo'lishi kerak? Hop. Qarang. Sizlarga e'tibor beradigan narsa o'sha band descriptingizda, band descriptorda. Task response, lexical resource, coherence and cohesion, grammar range degan narsa bor. Bundoq qarasiz. Sizlarga men maslahatim IELTS o'qimayotgan bo'lsam bir ko'rib qo'ying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Men hozir bu yerda 5 ta asosiysini aytdim. Manba bu uncha ahamiyatga ega emas, lekin muhim. Word count. Nima degani word count? Number of words. Tasvirda nechta so'z yozish kerak? 250. Endi IELTS topshirganlar bo'lsa, birinchi topshirgan yoki hali ham mock examlar qilayotganlar, tugata olmayotganlar yana bir marta eslab olaylik o'zimizni. Tasvirni yozaman va vaqt yetmay tugata olmayman degan. Ular birinchi fail bo'ladigan joyi dakasiga yoza olmasligidan word count minus o'sha task response sizga penalty beradi, bu ball ayriydi. O'shaning uchun aytmoqman, tugatsan writing dedi. Agar ichinglarda men mana shu o'qishga shunaqa qilib ketsam bo'ldi, 5.5 bilan 6 bilan writingni ketsam bo'ldi desa, o'zi IELTS not a true meaning of life. IELTS is just one small aspect of language. Unaqa maqsadinglar bo'lsa, oxirigacha yozing IELTS'da. Siz linguist bo'lishi shart emas. Oxirigacha essay yozib qo'ying, tasavvur eplaganingizcha. Ishoning, yaxshi chiqadi bahoyingiz. 7 chiqmasa ham eplashib bo'ladi. Endi birinchisiga qaytamiz. Addressing o'qib qo'ying. Nima deyapti? Nima deyapti? Sizga savol beriladi, task 2. Topic is given, you need to read. O'qiyotgan paytda topikda 2 ta gaplar bo'ladi, 3 ta gap bo'ladi. Ko'pchilik mana agree disagree bo'lsa, men uni ko'rsataman oxirida. Kelamiz. Qarang, addressing all parts of the question degani berilgan topik har bittasini yopish kerak degan. Ko'p savollarni qismi qolib ketadi, tugata olmay qolasiz. Siz buni yozib olingda, keyin o'qiyotgan paytingizdagi o'qimayotganingiz yoki darsga borganingizda e'tibor bering. Men buni tekshiringda, men hammasiga javob berdimmi deb. Agar addressing all parts of the question da o'zi bo'lsa 8 writingiz, task response da. Hammasiga javob bersangiz. Yoniga fully deb qo'shib qo'ysam, qo'shganim yo'q, chunki bizga kerak emas. Ya'ni addressing all parts of question fully deb qo'ysa, u 9 da kaliti bo'ladi. 9. Bizga fully 8 ham bo'veradi. To'g'ri? Keyingisi, well organization of the ideas and paragraphs. Nima bor writingda, tasvirda? Introduction bor. Body paragraph odatda 2 ta, 3 ta bo'lishi ham mumkin, savolga qarab va conclusion, to'g'ri? Mana mashini bilamiz-da, lekin ichidagi organizatsiyasi bor. Brainstorming yo'qligi uchun boshda ideya gathering qilmagani uchun. Biza ichkarida paragraflarimizni vobshe, uyga kirganmisiz? Bolali uy bo'lsa hamma yo'q har qayerda bo'ladi-da. Har kun tozalab turmasangiz, o'zingizni ham yo'qotib qo'yasiz. Bu tabiiy holat. Xuddi shunaqaga o'xshaydi writing ham. Class mess hamma yo'q. Nima o'qiyman, nimani boshlayman deb. Demoqchiman, address qilish kerak, organizatsiya qilish kerak va menga qarab turinglar, hozir tanib olinglar. Clear position. Opinion berishga e'tibor berasiz. Pozitsiyasi nima? Agree disagree da ko'pchilik do you agree disagree da o'zini pozitsiyasini ko'rsata olmaydi. O'tlab yuradi. Uni yozgani uchun emas. Xo'p, relevant, extended and supported ideas. Brainstorming kerak yana. Xullas, brainstorm qilsangiz hammasi bo'ladi. Brainstorm bu ideya gathering. Writingdan oldin chizib vaqt sarflaydi. Mana writingga 1 soat sarflasangiz, brainstormingga 2 soat sarflang. Hozir. Ana o'shanda yaxshi bo'ladi. Keyingisiga o'ting. Nechta turi bor ekan essayga? 5 ta. Qaysilar ular? CPS nima u? Eshitganmisizlar? Cause, effect, problem, solution. U nima ekan? Keyingisi nima ekan? Mixed. Uni har xil sourcelarda har xil ko'rasiz. Direct deydi, har xil. Sizlar bilib olinglar, işte essayda 5 ta turi bor. Endi buni qanaqa qilib yozish kerak? Eng qiziq tomoni, agar IELTS o'rganayotgan bo'lsangiz, opinion essayda fixed usha olmay, opinion essay bu bitta turdagi deb bo'lsa, do you agree, disagree, to what extent do you agree, disagree degan narsani bilsam bo'ldi deb o'ylaydi. Yo'q, ichiga kirish kerak. Discussion essayning ham o'zining turlari bor. Savoliga qarab ishlaysiz. Advantage, disadvantage ham o'zi nechta turi bor advantage, disadvantage da? IELTS o'qiyotganlar. Xo'p, yana Aha, yana balanced bor, ha? Hop, mixed essays. Nima degani? Mixed? Yes, it's mixed, aralash degani mana. Opinion, discussion, advantage, CPS ni aralashtirib beradi sizga. Keyingisi. Yana bittangiz bosib olsangiz, bosib olavering. Aha, yana. Bo'ldi, rahmat. Bitta sample qilyapman sizlarga. Advantage and disadvantage essayda turi. Birinchisi. Ikkita ekan mana. Birinchisi nima? Balanced opinion. Keyin qanaqa bilamiz advantage disadvantage? O'zi essayda qayerdan bilamiz desiz mana. Balanced type question ni ko'ryapsizlarmi? Nima deb beryapti? Keyingisi opinion based. Nima deb beryapti? Aha. Nima farqi bor opinion bilan balanced savol so'rash qismida? Qayerdan bilamiz?
Okay, in balanced, it's asking for both advantage and disadvantages. So that's why we should include both of them. Opinion, we should choose one because it says outweigh, like overshadow.
Exactly. Savolga qarasangiz advantage ko'proqmi deyapti, ustunroqmi deyapti. Bu yerda ikkalasini so'rayapti. Nimaga? Mana sizga agar tushunmayotgan bo'lsangiz, IELTS o'qimaganlar yoki o'qiyotganlar e'tibor berib qo'yinglar. Bitta sample'ni beryapman. Har doim essayga questioniga qaranglar. Essay tasvir yozayotganda nimani so'rayapti mendan deb. Bitta advantage disadvantage sample'da o'qib olib, har tomonga o'shani yozavermang. U writing, u examinerlarga ham rahminglar kelsin ozgina. Ular ham zerikib ketdi o'shani tekshirib bir xil yodlamasdan har bitta question bo'yicha ishlanglar. Essayni bilish juda ham oson. Savoliga qaraysiz, nima so'rayotganini bilasiz. O'zbekchada what's your name desa nima deysiz? Huh? Yeah, you just answer your name. Where do you live? You know, I went to supermarket yesterday. Demaysiz. How do you spend your time with your friends outside your class? Qanaqa vaqt o'tkazasan desa, nima deysiz? You answer how you spend your time with your friends. Xuddi shunaqa nima so'rasa o'shanga javob bering. Ana har xil YouTube'da ko'rayotganlar, ehtiyot bo'lib ko'ringlar. Sample'larni o'qiyotganda ham ustozingiz bilan birgalikda, ustoz, men mana sample'ni o'qiyapman. To'g'rimi yoki noto'g'rimi? In some guy degan anaqa bor, fraza bor ingliz tilida. Or some person like people deydi. Kimdir yozib upload qilgan narsani ko'rib olavermaydi. Miyangiz o'sha teskari qilib qo'yadi u. O'sha sizni strukturalangiz buzadi. O'shaning uchun instruktorlar bilan birgalikda o'qib keyin ishlaylar. Essay yozish, IELTS o'qishni yo'li bor, o'qishni ham, o'rganishni ham yo'li bor o'rganishni. To'g'ri o'rganishni o'rganib olsangiz, yaxshi bo'lib ketadi. Keyin structure, ana paraphrase, introduction ikkiga bo'linyapti. Paraphrase, thesis, main paragraph 1, main paragraph 2, summarize key points. It's conclusion. Keyingisi. Cohesion. Kim cohesionni alohida ko'tarish uchun ishlaydi? Nimadir mashqlar qilasizlarmi? No, right? Qanaqa ko'tarish kerak? Nimaligini aytinglar. Nima qilib ko'tarish kerak writingda cohesion, coherence ko'tarish uchun? It should come naturally, right? Okay, yana bormi specific? What if there is no such natural skill in most people or talent? No. Reading articles, scientific articles. Yes, sir? I feel like I'm communicating with 4 people and others are invisible.
First of all, we need to understand what is cohesion, and after that, we need to look at band descriptor, and it explains what it is. And there are cohesive features like referencing, substitution, and other things. And also, Paul and Colin has different books about cohesion, exercise, I mean, and then we can practice them.
Good one. Thank you. Thank you. Xo'p, cohesionni ham band skorelari bor. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 dan bu yoqqa tushmaymiz. Har bitta band descriptor o'qiyotganingizda e'tibor bering. 9 ga chiqsangiz, shunaqangi obscure, tushunarsiz yozib qo'yganki, hammasi fully, it shouldn't attract the reader's attention deb yozib qo'yadi. Ya'ni nimaga unaqa yozib qo'yadi? Tushunmaysiz o'tda nima. Yozuving 9 olish uchun deydi, sen yozgan narsang o'quvchini vnimaniyasiga tushish kerak emas deydi. O'qiyotgan examinerni attract qilish, uni ichiga kirsangiz xato bo'lish kerak emas degani bo'ldi. Lekin u xato bo'lish kerak emas 9 degani, bu u degani, olib qaraganda, menga qara, baribir sen erisha olmaysanmi 9 ga, keyin men pastga tushaver degan narsani aytyapti. Nimaga? Mana haqiqat shu. Endi erishsa bo'ladi, lekin juda qiyin. Juda ham qiyin. Umringizni berishingiz kerak ko'p qismini. Xo'p, 8 ga qarasangiz ham menimcha key pointlar yozib qo'ygan. Band descriptorga mana shunda seminardan keyin borib qarab qo'yinglar, IELTS nima ekan o'zi deb. Hammasida qisqa bergan. Bu studentlarni confuse qiladi. Даже ko'p o'qituvchilarni ham. Writingda men bitta listani qilib qo'ydim, sizlarga kerakli bo'lgan narsalar nima? Cohesion zo'r qilish uchun, ya'ni 8 bor yana 9 ham olish uchun language kerak albatta, lekin language bu 50%. Aytganimda grammar vocab. Siz communicate qilib berishingiz kerak. Masalan, men so'zlarni bilaman. Alternative, optional, mandatory, precaution, cautious, awareness. Gap chiqdimi? Okay. Alternative is a synonym of optional choice. Tushundingizmi hozir nima deganim? Endi tushundingiz, hop so'zini tushundingiz. Nima ma'no? Nimani gapiryapman men hozir? Nothing. Chunki men communicate qilmayapman sizga. Bizda essay yozayotganlarning muammosi grammar, vocabulary bo'l ishlayveradi-da. O'sha ideyani communicate qilib berish kerak. Communicate degani yetkazib berish kerak. Yetkazib berishni o'ylaylar. Yetkazib berish uchun sizlarga device'lar kerak. Device bu sizlarning so'z tilingizda linking words deymiz. Va linking words'larni ham ichiga kirishi, ya'ni source kerak. Yaxshilab o'qinglar linking words'larni. Hada, vocab, grammar, vocabulary, grammar qilavermasdan yoki reading listening. O'zi nima texnika bu? Academic writingning qismi. Qaranglar, range of cohesive device, linking words deyapti yana. Cohesive device, linking words appropriately. Referencing is clear. Referencing bu nima? Bu he, she, it, they, these-larni ishlatishi yo'li. Misol uchun hadib, book is important, book gives us knowledge, book deyavermasdan it, this ishlatishni bilishingiz kerak. Synonymi, mana keyingisi substitution. Synonyms, alternative words is used as needed. As needed deb bizda yana bitta muammo, bolalar sinonimlarni yodlab olib, hammasini ko'rsatishga harakat qiladi. Tiqvoradi, ichiga mana bu so'z bor. Relevantmi? Menga farqi yo'q. Men vocab yodlaganman. Ko'rsatuvring bo'ldi. Speakingda rosa gapirib ketayotganda bitta vocabni qo'yib qo'yadi. Xo'p, ketyapmiz yoki tushib qolib yana ketdi, mana shunaqa bo'ladi. You need to understand this. Cohesionni zo'r qilmoqchi bo'lsangiz, mana shu. Men sizlarga hozir referencelar beraman. Qatlarga nima qilsa bo'ladi, veb-saytlarni beraman. Ko'rmagan bo'lsangiz, like bosib qo'yasiz. Jonli, bizga Instagram shart emas. Ko'rgan bo'lsangiz, bitta qarshi chop qo'yasiz oxirida, hopmi? Ikkalasi ham bo'lmasa, endi bilmayman nima qilasiz. Hop, keyingisi. Keyword. Hop, coherence nima? Coherence, logical organization. Topic sentence degan narsani eshitganmisizlar? Qidiringlar uni. Hozir men tushuntirsam o'sha yana qolib ketadi. Topic sentence nima? Appropriate paragraphing. To'g'ri paragraf qilish. Mana, sizlarga advantage, disadvantage yozsangiz so'rayapti. Birinchi advantage'ini yozsammikin yoki disadvantage'larni yozsammikin degan savol bor, to'g'rimi? Qaysi birini yozamiz birinchi? Good one. Depends on your side. Agar balance bo'lsa-chi. Good one. Ya'ni appropriate paragraphingni bilish kerak. Clear progression. Nima degani? Clear progression. Essay o'qiyapti, introductiondan boshlab conclusiongacha bo'lgan joyda text, fluency dedi-yu, Mr. Abdulmalik. Speaking the fluency text ketish kerak. Xuddi shunaqa progressionda ideyalar bir-bir bilan bog'langan. Clear central topic, o'sha topic sentence da. O'sha writingingizni 9 gacha bo'lgan joyida mana shu kriteriyalar bor. Va eng qiziq tomoni, agar band descriptorni yaxshi tushunaman desangiz, 5 ball olish uchun nima qilish kerak? 6 ball, 7 ball, 8 ball, 9 kerak emas. Mana shu 4 ta narsani olish uchun mana 8 gacha bo'lgan har bitta stepda ular sizlarga key pointlarni berib qo'yadi. Masalan, 8 olish uchun deydi. 2 tani beradi-da, bu 2 tani bittasi 7 da bo'ladi, bittasi bo'lmaydi. 7 olish uchun deb 4 ta narsa bergan bo'lsa, 4 ta gap. O'sha gapni ikkitasi bo'lmaydi, lekin ikkitasi 6 da bo'ladi. 6 olish uchun deydi, masalan 4 ta kriteriya bergan bo'lsa, sizlar o'qinglar o'shani. O'shani 3 tasi 5 ta bo'ladi, bittasi bo'lmaydi. Ular shunaqangi rivojlantirganki, logikang ishlasa deyapti. Writingdan zo'r ola olasan ball deyapti. Coherence cohesionlarda, task responselarda. O'shaning uchun 6, 7, 8 liklarni o'qib qayta o'qisangiz, unda tegi chizib qo'yasiz-da, hammasini bunaqasi mana shu narsa chiqadi. Va sizda o'zi nima qilish kerak degan narsaga javob bo'ladi. Odatda biz writing qilayotganimizda grammar, vocab degan narsadan qutula olmaymiz. Shuning uchun sizlarga kerak bu. Keyingisi. Xo'p, qanaqa qilib yechim qilsam bo'ladi writingimga? Nima qilay endi ustoz deb ayting ustozingizga yoki kimgadir so'rang yoki mana men sizlarga qo'shimcha qilib aytaman. Create an idea bank. Idea bank nima? Bank nima? Bank nima? Bank. Ipoteka bank, Ipak yo'li bank. Bank, to'g'rimi? Nima qiladi bankda? Nimani saqlaymiz? Yoki saqlashadi? Pul saqlashadi. Xo'p. O'tda keyin nima berishadi? Kredit berishadi. Olmanglar uni. Xo'p. Siz ham o'zingizda bankingiz bo'lish kerak. Faqat sizning bankingiz pul saqlash uchun emas, ideya saqlash uchun. Va ko'p writerlarda men average haqida gapiraman. Bilib olasiz, siz qaysi kategoriyaga tushasiz. Which category do you belong to? Mani gapimdan keyin bilib oling. Zo'r writerlar bor. Zo'r bu endi very good user. Yaxshi writerlar bor. O'rtacha writerlar bor. Yaxshi emas writerlar bor, reanimatsiyadagi writerlar bor. Endi zo'r yoki yaxshi writer bo'lish uchun har bitta yozmani IELTS'dan o'rtoqlaringiz yaxshi bo'lsa, idea bank qilish kerak. Idea bank bu daftar tutasiz. Har bitta mavzuni siz brainstorming qilib ideyasini yig'asiz, qanaqa so'zlar ishlatish kerak, sample'lar o'qiysiz, undan olasiz. Keyingisi, read sample essays. Sample essay nima degani? What's sample essay? Essay is written by someone. Kim tomonidandir yozilgan essay. Va hamma essaylar credible mi? Ishonchlimi? Lekin bitta narsasi ishonchli. Nima ayting? Ideyalari bilan, chunki mavzuga oid bo'ladi baribir. Agar yaxshi writing bo'lsa, u demak yo ingliz yoki ingliz tilini biladigan odam tomonidan yozilgan. Akademik bo'lish shart emas va so'zlari. Ana o'shaning uchun sizga sample essay kerak. Strukturani yodlash shart emas unda. Idea bank ichiga qo'shasiz uni ham. Write your own samples. O'zingizni samplingizni yozing. O'zingizda gathering bormi? Ana yozib, to'plab essaylarni. Bu yoqda sample bor, bu yoqda o'zingiz ana kutubxonachingiz bor, kompyuteringizda yozib yuradigan. Kimda shunaqa bor? O'zini essaylari bor. Yana bitta qarab qo'yinglar bular. Qo'lingizni ko'tarib oling yana. Rahmat. Bo'ldi. IELTS kerakmi sizlarga? Qanday qilmaysizlar bularni? Xo'p, analyze your writing. Kim analiz qiladi writingini? Yo, men analiz qildiraman deydiganlar qo'l ko'taringlar. Men yozaman, berib qo'yaman, analiz qilib olishadi menga. Bu qora ishchi ustoz bo'ladi. Ha? Va ustoz ham bechara o'zi vaqti yo'q, shuncha odam bor, yana analiz qilaman deb yo assistent oladi, yo boshqalar assistent ham u ham writingni ko'radi, "Oho" deydi, "Bu oyog'ida yozganmi yo tushunmoqni qo'yib yuborganmi?" deydi. U ham eyesore degan so'z bor. Shunaqangi bir chiroyli so'zki ko'zlarim olib ketadi deb u bechara tekshirmaydi hamda. O'shaning uchun birinchi o'zingiz yozing va o'zingiz tekshiring. Qanaqa qilib tekshiraman desangiz, yozganingizdan keyin o'rtog'ingizga bering. Ingliz tili biladigan. O'rtog'ingiz ham ko'rib, birinchi o'zini kommentini aytadi. "Oho" degandan keyin gapirib olgandan keyin o'qiydi. "Nimani tushunding?" deng. "Hech narsani tushunmadim" deydi. Yoki "Tushundim nimadir." Ana shunaqa qilib komment olib, yana boshqatdan yozasiz. oson narsa emas. Bu 7 tepasi uchun aytyapman. 6 olish uchun tugating va ingliz tilini yaxshi qo'shib qo'ying, bo'ldi. 5,5-6 oxirigacha yozsangiz chotki bo'ladi. 7 tepasi uchun yozish kerak. Men turishda menimcha ozgina 7 olish ham necha olsan? 8 olmoqchiman. Tushimda, lekin o'zim ishonmayman ichkarida nima olishimni. 8 sen ololmaysan baribir. Ichkarida bilaman, 6 ham, 6,5 ham yetar. 7 overall bo'lsa, reading listening qilib chiqsam, writingdan eplab 6 olib chiqsam ham mayli. Speaking 6,5 bo'ladi, shu bilan zo'r bo'lib ketadi. Degan narsalar bo'ladi ichkarida. Qilish kerak uni. Keyingisi, please. Buni yozib olinglar, IELTS o'rganayotganlar va Singapurskiyda o'qiydiganlar, Westda o'qiydiganlar yoki boshqa bir Websterda o'qiyotganlar yoki kelajakda linguist bo'laman deganlar, IELTS'dan dars beraman deganlar, o'qituvchi bo'laman deganlar, pul topaman deganlar, O'zbekistonda eng zo'r yo'li bu o'qituvchi bo'lib pul topish deganlar, lekin частныйda deganlar yoki uchun sentr ochaman deganlar yoki o'rgataman, treyning qilaman, video qilib pul qilaman keyinchalik deganlar yoki chet elda grant yutaman. Xullas ko'p, mana shunaqa niyatinglar bo'lsa olinglar. Xo'p, Lexi Tutor degani. Qani endi buni linki ko'rinmayapti-ku, mana. lextutor.ca. Qaranglar. Concord, nima bu? Ruscha chiqyapti? Concordance degan so'zi bor inglizchada. Concordance degani bu so'zlarni alphabetical orderda любой so'zni yozsangiz, ana shu so'zni sizga sourcelari bilan qanaqa ishlatilganini tekstlarda topib beradi. Misol uchun, ko'ryapsizlarmi, however, makro. Xo'p, ko'ryapsizlarmi? Ko'pgina however chizuvlari chiqyapti. Pastroqqa tushiringlar ozgina. Bu tarjimasi bilan chiqyapti-ku bu. Inglizchada boshqacharoq chiqadi xullas. Bu yerda tarjima qilib beryapti, однако deb chiqyapti. Ko'ryapsizlarmi? Bu English tanlash kerak. Manbalarga bosasizda, manbalarga bosganingizdan keyin bu yerda tarjimasi bilan berasiz. Siz bunaqa bo'lmaydi, xudo xolasa. Bu yerda kompyuter programmasidan bo'lyapti-ku. Xo'p, Englishda bosganingizdan keyin ana shuni ichida readinglar beradi yoki writinglar beriladi, ilmiy ishlarni beradi. Ana shu so'zni qanaqa ishlatilgani bir 10 xil, 20 xil holatda. Misol uchun, however degan so'zni gapni boshida ishlatsa bo'ladi, right? Yoki however subjectdan keyin virgul qo'yib verbdan oldin ishlatsa bo'ladi. Yoki howeverni oxirida ishlatsa bo'ladi gap. Ana shu pozitsiyalarni ishlatishi sizni coherence and cohesioningizni ko'tarib beradi ishlatishda. Siz любой mana shu Lex Tutorga kirib, bo'sh joyga kirib ishlatishga harakat qiling. Biz resultga ham storyga qo'yib olamiz bugun. Shunga harakat qilamiz, ana storyga qanaqa ishlatish kerakligini. Bu juda ham muhim. Ko'pchilikda muammosi bo'lsa linking wordlarni ishlatishda. Ko'pchilik linking wordlarni moreover, furthermore yoki nevertheless yoki yet yoki yana boshqa bir so'zlarni having said that degan so'zlarni ishlataman deydi-da, keyin ma'nolari boshqacha bo'lib ketyapti. Siz agar yani writingingizni ko'taraman desangiz, cohesive bo'lishi uchun linking wordlarni yaxshilash kerak. Va bu sizga Lex Tutor degan sayt bo'ladi. Xo'p, dictionary bilan kim dictionary degan so'zni biladi? Biladi? Vocabulary degan so'zni bilasizlar? Endi bu yana ruscha chiqib qoldi, mayli. Qaranglar. thesaurus.com turibdi. Thesaurus degani bu alohida specific dictionary which includes or comprises set of synonyms. Ya'ni sizga kerak bo'lgan sinonimlarni nima qilib beradi? Offer qilib beradi. Masalan, sinonim qidirib yurasiz-ku. Important degan so'z sinonimi nima ekan degan paytingizda sizga ko'rsatib beradigan narsa shu. Va buni ishlatasiz. Mana bu joyga poisk degan joyga yozasiz, search pointga. So'zni yozsangiz, enter bosasiz, enter bo'ladi, odatda bosasiz. Keyin sizga ko'pgina so'zlar beradi. Va hamma so'zni sizga nima kerak bu? Umumiy knowledge'ingizni ko'tarish uchun sinonimlarni qidirib yurmasdan. Hamma so'zni kontekst bo'yicha ishlanadigan joyi bor. Shunga e'tibor berib qo'yasiz. Bosganingizda chiqqandan keyin uni qidiring. Writing zo'r qilish mehnat. O'zi hammasi mehnat. Lekin ayniqsa writing. Writing bu yozish. Agar sizda maqsad grant yutish yoki exchange programlarga apply qilish. Mana shu hadeb o'ngga qarasangiz ham, chapga qarasangiz ham, orqangizga qarasangiz ham, oldingizga qarasangiz ham, sahnaga qarasangiz ham faqat shu o'zbeklar yuraverganidan boshqa atmosferani ko'rmoqchi bo'lsangiz, krugazoringizni ko'tarmoqchi bo'lsangiz, sizga maslahatim motivation letterlar yozayotganda bu kerak bo'ladi. Va sizlarga yana mani personally IELTS writingni bir kunda o'tib olish juda ham qiyin. Men sizlarga asosiylarini ko'rsatishga harakat qildim. Ishlatinglar buni, sizlarga kerak bo'ladi. Slaydlarda sizlarga band description'da yozib qo'ydim. Band descriptor'da borib, uyga borib, yana boshqatdan o'qinglar. IELTS writingni tushunish uchun. Qiziq bo'lganlar. Writing olish qiyin emas. Faqat uni nima qilish kerak? Sabr qilib to'g'ri o'rganish kerak. Keyin mega mindlar, miyasi kattalar, bittada zo'r yozib yuboraman demay, agar yeta olmayotsangiz, complete qilingda, keyin yozing. Ana o'shanda yaxshi bo'ladi. Yana bitta meni shaxsiy maslahatim sizlarga, bizning teamdan speaking bilan writingga kirayotganda yoki speakingga kirayotganda hamma examinerdan qo'rqadi. Qo'rquv bormi? Kimda bor qo'rquv? Speakingga kirgan intervyuda. To'g'risini aytib qo'rquv bor deb o'ylaylar. Endi yolg'on gapirib qo'rquv bor deylar. Xo'p. Endi mana shu qo'rquvni olish uchun nima qilish kerak? Practice qilish kerak. Zo'r. Practice'dan tashqari yana nima qilish kerak? Mayli, practice xo'p, u yog'i. Yes, ko'proq chet ellar bilan gaplashish kerak. Baribir ba'zida qo'rquv bo'ladi-da. O'ziga ishonch bo'lish uchun nima qilish kerak? Abdumalik said here during his performance, like, tell me some words, the worst words. Nima dedingiz? Eng yomon so'zlarni aytinglar dedingizmi hozir? Hamma keyin sizga qarab borini aytdi-yu. Okay. Ana shu so'zlarni eshitganda odamda nima hosil bo'ladi? G'azab hosil bo'ladi. Endi sizlar jahl bilan kiriladimi? Writingga kirgandan keyin I'll kill you man demisiz. Muammo kimligingizga e'tibor bering. Chet elga chiqqanlar bormi bu yerda? Endi bo'ladi, xudo xolasa. Chiqqanlar bo'lsa yaxshi. Amerika, Avstraliyaga ketmoqchi bo'lganlar bormi? Ko'taringlar qo'yinglar. Hamma ketmoqchi javob. Xo'p, New Zealandiyaga ketmoqchi, chet elga ketmoqchilar. Farqi yo'q, qaysi davlat bo'lsa ham. Yana bitta ko'tarib olinglar qo'yinglar. Kim qoladi? Kim qoladi? Ba'zan o'zimga savol beraman. Men nima yordam beryapman shu jamiyatga desam, hammani brain draining yo'q. Kelinglar. Xo'p. Agentstva borida oldin uni to'xtatib yuborganman shu. Hech bo'lmasa yarim yordam beray, qolganiga aybdor bo'lmaydi. Xo'p. Endi bitta narsani tushunib olinglar, meni personal suggestionim sizlarga. Examda, intervyudami, любой joyda, chet elga chiqqanda, qiynalmaslik uchun, ayniqsa speaking paytida, examga kirayotganda savol bering o'zingizga. Okay, who am I degan savolni bering. Men kimman? Hop, men palonchiman. Hop, men mana shu tug'ilganman. Hop. Keyinchi. U kim? U examiner. Hop. Endi men nechta tilni bilaman? Men ingliz tilini bilaman, rus tilini bilaman, o'zbek tilini bilaman, tojik tilini bilishim mumkin, qirg'iz qog'ozlarni tushunaman, turkcha seriallar ko'rib, mazza qilib o'tiraman. Menda ko'p ekan language skill. Uchi! degan savol. U ingliz tilidan boshqasini bilmaydi odatda. Hello, my friend, come here, let's have an interview deb boshlaydi. Endi savol. Kimda ko'proq skill bor? Kimda ko'proq advantage bor? Sizlarda-da. Why the hell you're afraid of this guy or this female? And which land you're standing on? Qaysi landda turibsizlar? Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan is our land. Tushunasizlarmi? Ana shu mindsetda kiringlar-da. Kirib, olib chiqinglar. 6 olasizmi? 5,5 olasizmi? 6,5 olasizmi? Maksimum bosib turib, kirib o'shani olib chiqingda, speaking qilayotganda ana shu mindsetda kiringlar. Juda ko'p narsani men kuzataman bolalarda. Krishton ustoz, menga nima maslahat berasiz? 4 oy sen bilan o'qidim, bo'ldi, endi bor topshirib. Yo'q, cho'ta boshqacha bo'lar ekan, 1 hafta bo'ldi va yuraklarim ushlab qolyapti. Valeriyanka yo'qmi? bor, meni yoshimga yetsa ham beraman. Xo'p. Nima kerak bor? O'yla kimligingni, nimalarga anaqa borligini men fakt sanab beraman. Nechta tilni bilasan deb. Kamida ikkita tilni bilasiz-da. Kamida. Uchi. Ingliz tili bo'ldi. Sal o'zgartiringlar pozitsiyamizni. Kirgandan keyin sal duxi ko'taringlar. Qo'rqib o'tiravermasdan. Men seriyozno aytyapman. Intervyuda shu ham ta'sir qiladi. Ani qaltirab, javoblarim esimga kelmay qoldi. Yur, uyga boringlar. Ha, men ichki futbolkamni almashtirib olay, ho'lib ketdi. Hali chiqib turib IDPga yo British Council. Guliz bormi? Ha, men buni siqib olay hozir. Tushunyapsizlar? Mindsetinglarni o'zgartiringlar. Farqi yo'q kim bo'lsanglar ham. Просто make sure that you are the future. You're native. This land belongs to you. They're foreigners. You need to check them. Not they should check you. The fact that you're being interviewed doesn't mean that you should be scared of anyone who is in front of you, especially on your land. Shuning uchun please, mana shu mindsetni o'zgartirib oling. Bilib oling u kimligini. I don't know how it affects you, but if you're a patriot, if you love your land, if you know who you are and your mission in the world, you need to understand that this is nothing. Farqi yo'q. Mana shu joysizlikmi? Qo'rqmanglar. Ana eng zo'r yo'li shu. Valeriyankani ham Valeriyanka berasiz siz agar o'shanaqa mindsetda bo'lsangiz. Shuning uchun 6.5.5, 6.5 u sizni holat, IELTS sizni hayotingiz emas-ku, zato sizni advantages bor. Shuning uchun ana raqibni ko'rayotganda to'g'ri ko'ringlar-da. Aldanib o'tiringlar, inglizni biladi hozir, u meni qiynaydi. Yo'q, u bo'lmaydi. Hayajonni eng yaxshi yo'li shu. Hozirda mana mindsetingizni o'zgartiring-da. Oynaga qarab gapiring. You know? Speak to yourself. Kim shunaqa qiladi ana? Bilasizlarmi, sportchilarni o'ziga qarab, "Yes, you can do it" deydi-yu, bekorga emas u. U bekorga emas. "Yes, you can do it" desa bittasi qarab, "This is bullshit" deyotgan bo'lsa, na qarang, u o'zida muammo bor. Odam shunaqa bo'lishi kerak. Talk to yourself, motivate yourself. Ana o'shanda yaxshi bo'ladi. O'shaning uchun don't be afraid of this interviewing person in front of you. Bularni ishlatasizlar. Ana thank you ni qo'yib oling, bitta farmoni bo'lsin. Yeah? Keyingi slide. Yana bitta. Thank you. All right. Rahmat. Endi savolinglar bo'lsa, beringlarni. Любой savol writing bilan, reading, listening, speaking bo'yicha любой. Nima savol bo'lsa, shuni berib olinglar bo'ldi. Javob beramiz va ketamiz.
In our opinion, as say, we have like partial agree and fully agree.
Good one.
And people say that we cannot partially agree because it can affect our task response, because our coherence can lag.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
Exactly. Look, what does it mean the word partially? Partially it means qisman, right? Partially it means like half. If you paid attention, notice it. I put this coherence, the part and cohesion, clarity, clear position. Partially doesn't show your position clearly, so avoid. You can say it depends. It depends. Agree, disagree, it depends. You can intensify the meaning. Completely agree, completely disagree. It's just a booster. But partially, not recommend. Personally, I don't recommend. Depends, good. It depends, in this case, that, specific points. In that case, this. Rahmat savol uchun. Yana. Yes, please.
Mani savolim speaking bo'yicha aytdingiz-ku, misol uchun chet elliklar bilan gaplashinglar. Shunga qanaqadir prilojeniylar bormi?
Good, thank you. Chai Chat Club'ni kim biladi? Yes. Chai Chat American Embassy?
Chai Chat.
Oldin bo'lardi, hozir ham bor, bu yerda, hozir ham. American Embassy'ga borasizlar. American Embassy Amerika posolstvasi. Chai Chat Club'lar bo'ladi. Chorshanba, juma kuni bo'lar edi. spelling bee ana shunaqa joylar prezentatsiyalar qiladi ular American Embassy'da o'zini culture qaranglar har bitta davlatda madaniyat sentri bor. Ularning shunaqa spesifik anaqa missiyasi bor. Sen O'zbekistondamisan, bo'ldi American culture'ni anaqa spread qilishing kerak hammaga, indoctrinate qilishing kerak demaydi, endi spread qilishing kerak deydi. Ana shu joylarga British Council'da bor. Keyin yaxshi savol, US Embassy britishcouncil.com ga kiringlar, eventlari bor. Chat clublari bor. Nomeri ham chiqadi Google'da. Telefon qilasiz, odatda American posolstvosiga can you register me for your chat club? yoki can you give me some information about the events deganingizda ular aytadi, yes, we have Wednesday and Friday this time deydi. Keyin o'rtog'ingiz bilan, may I go with my partner or friends? Yes, you can come. Bu bitta joy. British Council ikkinchi joy. Keyin yana xatlar desa National Library bor, mana shu yerda kim keladi? Xo'p. Endi u yerda native yo'q, endi mana personal native ko'rmaysiz. No debate'lar bo'lyaptimi? Qatnashasizlarmi? National Libraryga boringlar-da, adashmasam ularga debate qiladigan volontyorlar juda ham kerak. Juda ham kerak. Zo'r aytdi-yu mana Diyor, mana bitta o'qituvchim bo'lardi, eng zo'r yo'li listening ko'tarish uchun practice listening qilishga, reading qilishga deb. O'sha o'qituvchi zo'r odamda. Vobshe admire qilaman u odamga. Sizlarga ham maslahatim, speakingni oshirishning yana bitta yo'li o'zingiz lead qilishingiz kerak. Leadni o'zingiz qiling. Mana men hozir sizlar bilan gaplashyapman-ku, to'g'rimi? Men o'zbekcha, inglizcha harakat qilaman, shu auditoriya yaxshi bo'lsin deb. No, siz debate'lar olib boring-da, farqi yo'q. National Libraryda bo'lsa kattaroq auditoriya bo'ladi. Ular sizlarga anu organizatsiya qilib beradi. Siz boring-da, look, I want to be a speaking leading host. Ya'ni men o'shani boshlovchisi bo'lmoqchiman desangiz, bo'ldi, keyin mana bu gruppaga deydi, yig'ib beradi, qaysi tur kun tanlaysizlar, announce qilasizlar, bo'ldi, ketdi. Tushundingizmi? Ya'ni Embassy, British Council, National Library. Ikkiga uchemniy sentrda o'qiydiganlar bo'lsanglar, mana bizda uchemniy sentrda o'zimiz ustoz shogirdda resultda. Bizda nima qilamiz? Hey, come here. You want to be apprentice? Oh, yeah, come here. You have to work like a dog. Itta ishlashing kerak. Nima qilishim kerak? Speaking qilasan, Zoomdan speaking qilasan, qo'shimcha darsda speaking qilasan, voice chat qilasan, yakshanba kuni kelasan, speaking qilasan, conduct qilasan, mana qilasan deb qo'yamiz. U avtomatik ko'tarilib ketadi. Ya'ni siz o'zingizga responsibilityni ko'proq olinglar. Agar rivojlanmoqchi bo'lsangiz, you need to take more responsibility. Ya'ni 4 ta yo'li. Va social medialarda speakingda o'zi bilmayman to'g'risi qanaqalari bor, lekin qanaqadir chatlar bo'lishi kerak. Ular ja effektiv emas, no yaxshi yordam beradi. Native uchun embassylarga boring, ikkitasiga. O'zingizni improve qilish uchun speaking lead qilinglar. Gruppangiz bormi? Look, I want to have speaking. O'z sana leveling yetmaydi, sen o'z zo'r IELTS o'qiyapsan. Qanaqa speaking qilasan desa, menga elementarylar bergin, beginnerlar bergin, men speaking qilib beraman. Bo'ldi, ketasiz. Ana shunaqa qilib o'stiraylar. Bizda ko'p bo'ldi, shunaqa qilib chiqib ketgan. Agar speakingda lack bo'lgan bo'lsa.
Yana bitta bersam maylimi?
Yes.
Readingda mana passage 1, passage 2 da ba'zida 26 ta ham chiqadi. Lekin passage 3 ga kelganda menda o'tgan safar shunaqa shok bo'ldi. 14 tadan 4 ta correct answer. Nimaga deganda detailed information bo'lmaydi-ku, qayerdan boshlanadi, catch qila olmayman-da ma'nosin.
Xo'p. Mana shu ham sizlarga ham tegishli bo'lsa kerak. O'zi readingni qanaqa qilasiz? Strategiya nima sizda? Mana reading ochildi, nima qilasiz birinchi?
Misol uchun aytaylik, mana paragraph matching, multiple choice and yes no not given, yep. Men birinchi o'sha A paragrafdan boshlab o'qishni boshlayman. Keyin paragraph matchingga qarayman, keyin nima keywordlarni topishga harakat qilaman. Yes no not givenmi, keyin nima multiple choice'mi, lekin ma'nosini catch qila olmayman-da baribir.
Xo'p. Har kuni reading qilasizmi?
Yo'q.
Qanchada bir reading qilasiz?
Tak, nima ustozga aytsam, siz practice qilmang deydilar. Что bizga beradilar, bitta passage full qilmang, practice qilgandan foyda yo'q, что o'rganing uni texniklarini, nima tushunishni deydilar.
Xo'p, hozir men javob etaman, o'shani qiling, xo'p? Hozir etaman. To'g'ri bajaryapsiz qisman. Readingda o'zi bizda Diyor sohasi edi, mayli, men ham qo'shilib qo'yiraman. Keyin I want to take credit for that. O'sha aytgan ustozimman. Ani yaxshi ko'raman deb aytdi-yu. Rahmat diyor. Endi reading qilayotganda sizlarda bitta e'tibor narsa qaratadigan. Ikkita strategiya bor xolos readingda. Nechta ekan? Ikkita. Boshqa strategiya yo'q. Nima ular desa, birinchi strategiya reading qilayotganda sizlarda heading, matching headings to the paragraphs degan questionlar bor. Ikkinchidan matching information to the paragraph degan questionlar bor. Kim biladi shuni qo'ldan ko'tarib olinglar. Ana o'shanaqa savollarni tushganini qayerdan bilasiz desangiz, sizlar birinchi artikelni ochasiz, 3 ta artikel bor sizlarda, to'g'rimi? 3 ta passage. O'sha passagelarni qaraganingizda har bitta ana passagelar A, B, C, D paragraf qilingan bo'ladi. A, B, C, D paragraf qilingan любой passage 1 mi, 2 mi, 3 mi farqi yo'q. Sizda har doim yo matching information to the paragraph bo'ladi yoki matching headings to the paragraph bo'ladi. Ana o'shanaqa savol A, B, C qilinganlarni siz aytgandek, bu meni birinchi maslahatim bu. Strategiya 1 deyiladi. Sanda matching information paragraph bilan matching headings bor ekan degani uchun A paragrafni birinchi o'qiysiz. Ko'pchilik nima qiladi bu yerda? Savolni reading qilayotganda birinchi savoldan boshlaydi. Ochadi-da, savolni o'qir, qaytadi. Bu eng xato narsa. Birinchi qiladigan ishingiz o'sha A paragrafni o'qiysiz, matching information qilib, B, C, D xuddi qilayotganingizdek to'liq o'qiysiz. Bu bir. O'qib, qarab ketasiz. Ikkinchisi matching information bilan matching headings tushmagan savollari bo'ladi. Unaqa paragraflarga qarasangiz, o'sha tushgan savollarga A, B, C, D paragraf qilinmagan bo'ladi. Tushunyapsiz? Men prosta update qilib qo'yaman. Bu ikkinchi strategiya. Bunaqa turdagi readinglarni faqat birinchi qiladigan ishingiz nima qilasiz? Tekstni полностью o'qish kerak. Har doim ana savoldan boshlamanglar. Passage 1 da ishlaydi bu. Ana savolimni ochib turib, savoldan qarab turib qilish yordam beradi. Chunki passage 1 oson-da. Lekin passage 2, passage 3 ga borganingizda bu qiyinlashgani uchun, vokablari, abstract meaninglar bo'lgani uchun siz savolga qarab turib readingni ichidan topib olaman keywordlar u bo'lmaydi. Un bilan siz 7 dan tepaga chiqa olmaysiz. Max 7 ga erishasiz, shunday qiynaladi. O'shaning uchun ikkinchi strategiyamiz tekstni to'liq birinchi o'qish kerak, keyin savolga borish kerak. Endi sizlarda savol bo'ladi. Agar vaqt yetmaydi-ku to'liq o'qishga, bu xato narsa. Vaqt yetadi. Ana writingda aytdim, brainstorming qilishga vaqt yetmaydi-yu, ustoz. Bu xato. Tekstni to'liq o'qishimiz shart. Chunki passage 2, passage 3 bu ko'proq kontekstga bog'lab turib ishlanadigan savollar. Endi sizning case'ingizda men bitta passage qilaman, ikkita. I see your language is good. Language zo'r ekan. Sizda ana vocab, understanding muammo yo'q. Sizning case'ingizda practice. Sizda lack of practice bor. Chunki patience passage 1, passage 2 kelgandan keyin miyangiz ujano tomirlari tashab olishni xohlaydi. Tashab olishni xohlaydi, ana nima bo'lyapti deb blurry vision bo'ladi miyangizda. Bulutlar ana o'qiyotganingizda kallaga kirmaydi chunki abstrakt. Bu faqat immunitetni lackligidan. Practice qilish kerak. Skill kam. Knowledge good, skill yetmayapti. Practice qilma, o'qima deyotganning o'zini qanaqadir sabablari bor, but in your case you use the word catch the meaning degan so'z ishlatyapsiz, bo'ldi. O'sha sizda practice'ga tayyorsiz. Tushunyapsiz? Passage 1, passage 2, passage 3 ni bo'lib qilmanglar. Birinchi passageda qilib bitta olma yeb oling endi. Keyin bitta o'tirasiz, suv qo'yasiz, dakansa ishlaysiz. Har kuni shunaqa qilasiz. Analiz qilinglar. Javobini tekshirgandan keyin nimaga bu A chiqyapti, B chiqmayapti? Men B qilganman-ku, A ni toping, shunaqa analiz qiling. Practice makes perfect. Because you have your knowledge, no any obstacles. Bitta obstacle bu practice bo'ladi. Ana, men bunaqa bo'ldi. Yugurishni bilasanmi? Bilaman, men yuguryapman. Men 10 metrga yugurganimda charchamayapman. 50 metrgacha boryapman-da, 100 metrga qo'yib qo'yganda 80-metrdan keyin meni out of breath yutqizib qo'yyapman deyapsiz-da. Bu kam yugurishdan. Tushunyapsiz? Ya'ni bu skill. Knowledge bor, qanaqa yugurish kerak, yugurishgacha nima qilish kerak, yugurayotganda to'g'ri bosyapmanmi, bosyapsiz, prosta charchab qolyapsiz. Shuning uchun practice bosing. Boshqa anaqasi yo'q. Upperda tepasi faqat practice qilish kerak. Elementary bo'lsa ham practice qilavering. Maslahatim. Elementary bo'lsangiz ham practicega kiringda, qilavering. Ko'zni o'rgatasiz. Ana yo'q. Noto'g'ri strategiya qilib olasan, u o'zi noto'g'ri strategiya qilyapti. Kim nima deyotgan bo'lsa ham. Ikkita strategiya bor. Savol turiga qarab yoki paragraf by paragraf o'qish kerak yoki полностью paragraf o'qish kerak bo'ldi, ikkita strategiya. И всё. boshqa yo'q, true false da unaqa bo'ladi, bunaqa bo'ladi, boshqa joylarda u. Practice. Yana.
Thank you.
All right. Yes.
Avvalambor assalomu alaykum.
Va alaykum assalom. Endimi? Ha,
Men yaqin kunlarda Global Grad programmasiga topshirmoqchiman.
Good.
Va savolim, bunda men motivation letter yozishim kerak ekan. Mana shu motivation letterda nimalarga ahamiyat berishim kerak?
Xo'p. Birinchi o'zi research qildingizmi motivation letter qanaqa yozish kerak deganini?
Ha, search qildim.
Nimalar chiqdi?
Ko'proq o'sha personal, o'zini volontyorlik ishlari yozilishi kerak ekan, keyin hayot davomida achievementlarga erishgan bo'lsa.
Xuddi shu. Qarang. Sizda qanaqa qilib yozishim kerak degan savolingizda javobi o'zi tayyor-da. Motivation letter samples desangiz, o'zi beradi sizga motivation letterlar, to'g'rimi? Faqat bitta muammo bizda motivation letterni yozishim kerak desa, bolalar bir marta yozadi, bo'ldi. Bir marta o'xshamayapti-yu deb turib berib yuboradi, to'g'rimi? Keyin nima qilaman endi? U ham xuddi shunaqa. Qachon topshirasiz Yugratga? Dekabrda-da, to'g'rimi? Chunki endi boshlanadi, keyin ketasiz keyin. Yugrat yaxshi narsa, mana 15 bo'lsa sizda 3 hafta vaqtingiz bor. 2 hafta. Bugundan boshlab har kuni 2 tadan motivation letter yozing. 2 tadan yozing-da, prosta. Ko'rsating ingliz tilini biladiganiga. Menga komment berib yubordi. O'zidan sal balandroq bo'lsa bo'ldi. Komment beraveradi. O'qituvchi bo'lish shart emas. Nima tushunmayapsan, nima? YouTube bor, saytlari bor, qanaqa MBC'ning o'zida ham bor. Undan tashqari ko'proq yozing. Bizda bitta muammo bor. Qanaqa qilib shu o'tirgan holda o'sha yerga borsam nima bo'ladi, qanaqa boraman degan narsa mindsetda bor-da bizda. Ya'ni o'qib olsangiz, bo'ladi. Ko'p o'qib yording, g'alati bo'lib qolmagin, sal dam olib turgin degan narsalar ham bo'ladi-da. U bo'lmaydi u. Yozing har kuni. Siz kutasiz-da, nima qilasiz? Xo'p, men endi Yugrat bo'lsa, qaysidir 5-da men bitta motivation letter yozsam, zo'r bo'lib ketsa, unaqasi bo'lmaydi. Yo kimgadir yozdirishingiz kerak, yoki o'zingiz yozishingiz kerak. O'zingiz yozish uchun ko'p yozishingiz kerak. Tushunasiz? Ko'proq yozing har kuni 2 tadan. Qiling-da shuni aytgandan keyin. Xo'p. Zo'r.
Rahmat.
Yana? Yo'qmi? Zerikib ketgan deb aytsanglar ham bo'ladi. Yana? Bo'lsa tugatib olamiz-a? Shohruh.
Aziz aka, sizlarga ham komandalar bilan Jor aka, Abdumalik aka kattakon rahmat. Mana bugun ularda o'zi master-klass bor edi, shanba kunlari. Ko'rib turishingiz mumkin. 4 haftada IELTS 6 degan adashmasam kursiylar bor, to'g'rimi? Ya'ni kuniga o'sha haftada bir marta yig'ilib 8 soatdan dars o'tishar ekan.
Mana prosta ko'zim bekitib qo'ydim.
Mana xuddi shu proyektlar bo'lishiga qaramasdan avvalambor vaqt ajratib kelganingiz uchun kattakon rahmat. Odatiy holatda Rustam akam, ya'ni Ibrat proyekti asoschilari o'zi buni seremoniyani ochib o'zlari tugatardilar. Bugun ish bo'lib qolganlari uchun ular nomimizda ham rahmat aytib qolamiz. Va kichkinagina sizlarga tashakkurnoma bor, aziz aka. Shu yerga kelsanglar.
Xo'p. Keyin rasmga tushib olamiz.
Обязательно. Mana shu stage o'zida hamma bilan tushib olsak bo'ladi. Xo'p, birinchi o'rinda kim?
Birinchi o'rinni kim oldi?
Jor aka, rahmat sizga, Abdumalik aka.
Xo'p, rahmat.
Aziz aka, shu yerda ham bitta rasmga tushib olsak.
Rahmat.